What's happening, lads? Have you heard? We've got a brand new website. It's haveawordpod.com. And on our brand new website, we've got a brand new line of merch, t-shirts, hoodies, jumpers, hats, stickers. There's all sorts, and it's available right this second. Go to haveawordpod.com, get yourself some merch, and while you're there, you could also get tickets to
Murderers Row. We're doing a massive stand-up tour all around the UK, and we're doing Dublin. It's me comparing the first section, Adam comparing the second, and then we've got the best acts we know, people you'll recognise from the couch, some absolute killers from comedy doing stand-up.
Proper stand-up tour. There's no podcast tour this year. We wanted to do stand-up with our mates, and we've come up with the Murderers Row stand-up tour. 4 special guests every night. Me and Dan doing a bit each as well. And obviously we're bringing all the lads down. We're going to get Finn to sing at the end. It's going to be absolutely class. And all the tickets and all the merch are at haveawordpod.com. And of course, if you love what you're watching, patreon.com/haveawordpod for loads of bonus content. But we'll tell you more about that a little bit later.
Enjoy the episode. It's going to be
It was good.
Yeah, it was really good. It's class.
Wag wag leads, you're listening to the funniest podcast in the game from the heart of Liverpool with Adam, Dan, Sensei Carl and Finn. This is the one and only Have a Word.
Brought to you by Manscaped, the very best products on the market for below the waist grooming.
Go Ed, get on me.
Oh,
There's an episode start.
how's your sex life done?
2025, isn't it?
From the off.
By the way, you said it was 2023 on the Bemmy episode.
Percentage chanted. What?
You said it was 2023 on the Bemmy episode. You fucking idiot.
Thanks for pulling me up, Carl.
You're welcome.
Mad.
Happy New Year. First
Happy
public
New
episode
Year.
of the new
Happy
year.
New
Hey?
Year.
Hey?
Yeah.
Hope you're all right. Hope you had a good one. Even if you are a pube, even if you're not a Patreon, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you have a fantastic 2025 and all your wishes come true. How's your sex life done?
No, your
So
wishes.
I was praying you forgot where we were going. What have you been up to?
People might wish for nasty things.
What?
People might wish for nasty things.
Oh, who's doing evil wishes for
Hitler.
Yeah. Voldemort.
Voldemort. Yeah, dead
I
and
wish
fictional.
Harry would die.
Every year, Voldemort. Every year.
Every year Voldemort gets fucking battered by 12-year-olds, Maisie and Ming.
That's the song. Voldemort gets battered. Everywhere he goes. Dan, how's your sex life?
Finn, how did you spend New Year?
Yes.
I had a gig in sunny Llandudno.
And it gave you AIDS.
Yeah,
Is that in the Middle
You're
East?
sounding rough,
I
kid.
feel rough.
Do you? Yeah.
Sounds sexy.
Got a bit of the Llandudno flu-flefflum.
Llandudno AIDS, yeah. But yeah, I just spent yesterday sleeping. But yours was ticketed, so it was different. I was just in a bar, and the weather was absolutely shite. So
We were
it
on a
wasn't-
roof.
It wasn't that busy. Yeah, but if you've paid for it, you're going to go, aren't you?
People did go. It was busy.
Can you tell me what we did last New Year's Eve? Because I can't remember. I know it happened 2 nights ago.
We didn't do
Oh, I
anything.
didn't do anything.
Right, okay, good. I thought I just had like a mental block and I'd
I
forgotten.
went out with Harry.
Oh, your
They came to
friendship
mine.
is so cute.
You did come to mine, didn't you, Steve? Yeah. We had a house party.
I was in a bit of a mental health hole last New Year.
All right.
That's how we spent it.
Starting stronger this year, guys.
How's your sex life done?
Done any fucking lately?
If it's at the start of the episode, there's such a much higher chance that she listens.
Laura,
and
turn off
watches.
now.
Laura, we're going to talk about someone else.
What
All right,
doesn't she
go on.
like?
You gone?
Has anyone been to
Go and see if the
Dusseldorf?
kids are all right in the bath.
What does
You'll be
Laura
shadow
hate?
boxing in the bath. You don't want that, do you? Go. No,
Don't
go.
take your phone. Don't take your phone. That'd be weird.
What does Laura hate? Wellies. We're going to talk about wellies for 40 minutes, Laura. Go away. Go on.
I was on a promise yesterday. A promise made at a zoo. Is there anything more sexual?
Sorry.
That's a band name or a album.
I promise
album
named
name.
at a zoo.
We are promised named at a zoo.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Where
When's
does
the
that
zoo-
phrase
Oh,
come from, by the way? On a promise.
I promise to fuck you later.
Yeah, but like, was there like a voucher exchange back in the day or something?
Maybe, yeah. Little Woolworth.
And a woman was like, hey.
Sexual promise.
Also, I've never had a promise because I think that happens in the let's say the autumn years of your life. What does a promise sound like?
Yeah, like,
Well,
how
have you
does-
never ever gone, hey, should we bonk later?
No.
And you're just pinning them down, headlock, fucking passion.
No.
You just surprise them, and because I don't know women, you do. You take them to the Cotswolds. You take them, you know.
No.
You're like, I need to get a
But
wheel
no one's
changed
ever-
at Quick Fit, and then
She's
all of
never
a sudden
gone, we're gonna fuck later. We've always it just
it just happens for you, doesn't it? Because you're sexual, passionate. You just go,
Can you back me up
shush.
here?
I am with Carl on this.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I don't,
Like,
and this is why I love learning from you.
no, I'm not trying to teach you. You're a much more experienced man than me. What we're asking is, what does a promise sound like? So you're walking around the zoo, you're looking at the monkeys.
Oh, we saw the jaguar. Listen, underrated part of Chester Zoo
Belter?
doesn't get the attention that it deserves. I don't think people know it's there. It's away past
Proper.
the giraffes. Go see the jaguars.
So were
It's
you looking at the
beautiful.
jaguar and she was like, I want to sit all over
I
your
saw a
banana
jaguar
later.
and I was like, God, I'm going to bum your head in. Go for it.
Yeah, but isn't that you putting her on a promise, and surely she's on a constant promise because you want to fuck all the time, don't you?
No, but the constant promise would be, well, that wouldn't work, would it? Because if I'm always up for it and she's always up for it, there's no promises needed. We'd just be banging
Yeah.
near the monkeys.
Yeah.
I'll fucking.
But I think
I'll
that's what
smash it near the
that's what
macaques.
Carl's
It's
saying.
always on the table. It doesn't always happen,
it
but
is
we know
with
it's always on the
Serica, yeah.
table.
So with Laura, it was like it's been a nice day, innit? What are you doing later? And then a horse came over.
Who said that?
yeah,
though?
who
One
said
of the
it?
less popular
Who
attractions
said
at the zoo.
that?
Horses.
There is a domestic goat at the zoo that no one gives a
Tony
fuck
Carl,
about.
innit?
Tony Ibbett, mate. I'll take that. I'll take the rest of the coast.
So here's my question. You're in the zoo, you're looking at the jaguars, right?
Jaguars.
Jaguar.
Jaguars.
That's a new Jaguar.
I was like, we shouldn't go to the cinema. We should go to the Jaguars.
So you're looking at the jaguars, yeah? And then you say to Laura, do you want to fuck later? And
Something
she
like that.
says, promise. Is that right?
No.
Pinky promise with your cock.
What? She doesn't call down the powers of the promise. I declare promise. She just goes, yeah, right, yeah, see you later.
See you later.
you're on a
Walks
Walks
off.
What do you want? You don't leave.
Said Adam.
You don't leave the zoo at the same time.
Famously.
We're going. You go that way.
So you propose it.
Past the elephants.
You're watching the jaguars.
Yeah.
You get a bit turned on and you go, do you want to fuck later?
I didn't
So you
get turned on by the Jaguars. I just want you to. I was like, oh,
It sounded like you did. The
So-
underrated bit of the zoo, you
so
said.
majestic.
So you get turned on by something else near the jaguars.
The bat.
I get turned on by her. Watching my wife look at a Jaguar. Ugh.
So you at that point say to her, can I fuck you later? And she says,
Not in my exact words.
what were your exact words? This is what we're asking.
A bit
What
of
were your
you know.
exact words? Hey, do you fancy a bit of cock later?
Yeah, that was it. You've nailed it. Second time.
A
Second
little cock
attempt.
butty for tea.
What you having for tea? My cock.
Yeah. These again. You guys know women, don't you? And I was like, we should start the new year like we mean to go on with a cock butty. But I know what she wants, and I've learned this is.
I'll get the bread in later. Whole meal.
That's a nice Jaguar. My dick as a sandwich in your fucking pussy. No, don't shush me. It's romance, babe. Yeah, I know there's fucking people looking at the
The
Jaguar.
level to which we've corrupted you, by the way, is fucking incredible.
Do you like sandwiches? Well, I'm gonna fuck you. You know.
Go on. So you're on a promise. You've both gone wink, wink. What happens?
You've made a proposal and she said, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck me.
Late again. Cock butty. I'm hungry. Yeah.
Side on. Side on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a flute.
She's a loyalist. And doing banter that I don't understand. She was like, you bring the mayo. She meant jizz.
Bring the boom.
Oh,
But
you wouldn't
but it
put
was
mayo
the-
on a sausage butty.
On a sandwich, but it's a sandwich-based reference. It's the sandwich isn't important. It's real.
Daddy's sauce.
Nice. Nice.
Daddy's special sauce. Come.
You have to pause and then say come because you don't want to turn it up with condiments.
No.
She turns up with bread and a selection of meats and cheeses, and you're like, you have misunderstood what we said at the Jaguars. She's like, are we not making sandwiches? I was like, why would we wait for the kids to go to bed? She's like, they're not allowed to see the sandwiches.
I wait for people to go to bed to make sandwiches quite often. I love a late night sandwich.
I'm
mate.
making them at night.
Listen, I don't want to talk down to you about parenting, but the last thing you want to do is send a children up. Send children up with sandwiches.
No, you mean for
you
me?
Can't be like, right, night kids, go and make your sandwiches. Yeah, before bed. Right, everyone, get a knife, get some cheese, get some bread.
I think this might be like the fat cunt in me, right? But you know, a sandwich that you're not meant to be having. Like a 2 a.m. You know, if you're up dead late because like you can't sleep or like you fucked it, you've had too much caffeine or whatever, and your missus is already in bed, and you're just like, oh babe, I'm just gonna watch a bit of telly, like you go off, I'm just going to watch a bit of telly before I get in. I'm a bit wired, me. You know, if that like stretches, let's say that was like 10, 11 p.m. because women love an early night, don't they? They fucking love an early night. Let's say you just push that to like 2 a.m. and you know at that point, that's not calorie time. Especially if you're conscious of your weight. You shouldn't be having calories at 2 a.m. It's
naughty.
You certainly shouldn't be having an absolute monster of a butty with crisps on as well.
You're not just going for an emergency quick one. You're doing a full like
whatever.
homemade
Sometimes
Derrick's.
sometimes genuinely what I want at that hour of night
Piece of bread.
is plain ham butty with ready salted crisp on. Like just like wafer thin Bernard Matthews ham, orange Warburton's layer pack and ready salted crisp. And it sounds plain as fuck, and it is.
No.
But it's just sometimes exactly what you need.
The butter is the sauce.
Those butties,
Yeah.
like butties at like 2 a.m. Butties between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m.
Oh.
That are like secrets. No one needs to know about this apart from me, God, and the fridge. Them butties are the best butties. They taste better.
Cereal 10 p.m. onwards as well. Wow.
You need to get yourself right with God and your fridge.
Go on, so we're making butties, you're upstairs serving
So
cock
hang on.
butties.
Look, we're getting confused. We're all covered in Jaguar merch because we've had to buy it. We've seen it. You have to get the fucking hoodie, don't you? We sent the kids off with a bread knife each, sandwich, fillings. They've gone to bed. Close your doors. I don't want to hear, cutting. And of the
This
sandwiches.
metaphor's gone all over the place,
Right.
by the way, because it sounds like you're sending the kids off for a wank.
With a knife.
I don't know.
Go make your own butties on your own room.
Yeah. Not a euphemism.
What for, Dad? Come here.
And then we have to wait for them to be asleep. You have to do it every.
How do you know they're asleep? You keep shouting until they don't reply.
Yeah, that's how you check if a small child is asleep. Hey! Are you awake? They usually are.
No,
and they look. You know what? I found through my experience of being a dad that they're very scared. At those
down the
moments.
hall. Are you asleep yet? And they don't reply.
No, get right next to their face. Are you asleep? Yeah,
That is a genuine question I've got, though, about parenting.
Yeah.
Obviously, the postnatal fuck. Once she's had the baby, right?
Postnatal? It's quite postnatal, this.
Right? The postnatal fuck.
Yeah.
How do you know for sure that they're asleep?
The kids.
I don't think you ever need to go to a postnatal fuck. Oh, that sounded way too medical. Like a midwife's coming in for the checkup 8 weeks after the birth. Have you had the postnatal fuck? Great.
Postnatal is like a week, not 4 years.
I think postnatal's permanently after the baby. It's postnatal.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I see grandmas with the grandkids like going, God, she's really postnatal. She's double postnatal.
Dead.
She's dead.
Go on. So, how do you know the kids are asleep? Genuine question. Have you got baby monitors on them still?
Because I know how
tags.
human beings sleep, It's not, this isn't a like, if only I understood
So do I.
sleep. Yeah. So, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Do you go and look at them?
How do you know if the child's asleep? You look and go, oh yeah,
Oh,
they're
you look at
unconscious.
them? Yeah, but you open the door, that might wake them up.
And we don't lock, the doors aren't shut.
Whoa, that's weird.
Not
Shouldn't
even
be doing that.
Not even for postnatal fucking.
What?
Not even for postnatal fucking.
The kids' bedroom doors aren't shut. When it's time for sandwiches, and again, we're getting very confused. When it's time for, like daddy's special sauce, again, when it's time for
When your
sexual
kids go to
intercourse-
sleep, their bedroom doors are open. What if a burglar gets in?
Yeah. Luckily, burglars can't work doors, apart from front doors that they've broken in through.
No, but then there's kids there to burgle.
Right. But burglars are just confused by closed doors, are they? They're like, wow, well...
It's more confusing.
I don't know what
isn't
this
it?
wooden portal is, but there'll be nothing behind there. And also, I suggest that burglars aren't trying to steal children.
Some of them are. Ask Maddie McCann's brothers and sisters.
Nice. Let's get Maddie in. Right. If only they'd closed the door and not fucked off for tapas.
You gone
Tapas.
tapas?
Tapas, Jaguars, the cinema, tappers.
You'd fucked up the tapas, mate. Whoa.
Go on
So
then.
they sleep with the door open because they're scared of the dark, and they've got night lights. But
Do you leave the landing light on?
we leave the upstairs bathroom light on and the landing light off, so it's the right amount of light. Yeah. So,
When I was a kid, I wasn't scared of the dark, but I didn't like it.
I'm scared
So
of
I
the
had a
dark now.
similar.
Did you have a night light?
Run a night light now.
Oh, boo.
The big light.
So my bedroom when I was a kid had a.
Sleep with a big light on.
Eyes open.
And I'm next to a street light outside. I open the blinds.
Carl sleeps on a sunbed.
Wake up black.
There's no monsters can come in now, apart from the monsters of skin cancer.
When I was a kid, we had a cupboard in me. Not to brag.
Flex. Whoa, what you keeping there? Your butty stuff.
Fucking hell, lad. You're a tardy. Stop talking about cupboards.
I once asked if I could put my bed in the cupboard so I have more bedroom to play in.
Harry Potter. More bedroom. That's clever, that.
Yeah.
How big's this cupboard?
It could fit a single mattress in.
How's
What? A cupboard?
Yeah.
That's a room?
No, like a single mattress would fit in the cupboard
Yeah,
and it would touch all of the walls.
but the end of it was in Narnia.
So there would be no floor. The floor would be entirely...
Cupboards don't have walls.
What are you talking about?
Cupboard.
A wardrobe.
Oh, like a walk. Like it's got a door. Like it's a walk-in gaff. Like a
Cupboard,
teacher's
yeah.
cupboard.
Like a cupboard. Not like a kitchen cupboard. Like a cupboard.
I mean, it's a wardrobe. You want to sleep in it?
It's not got a bedroom full of units.
That's what I'm there, mate.
I have with his Mars there.
I've already said it. So
Nice.
It was I don't know how to describe. It was a fucking
like a
cupboard.
teacher's cupboard rather than a kitchen cupboard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's still a cupboard, though, innit?
Yeah, I let it off. I call it a room.
Cupboards don't have walls.
It was the exact size of a single mattress.
Sounds
so if you
good.
put a single mattress on the floor,
I'm going to say this right now. Either that was a massive cupboard or a small mattress. Like, in my head, that doesn't... Like,
how big do you think single beds are? It was a decent sized cupboard.
What's the size of that table if you squared it off?
I had a cupboard.
And you had a bed and you never got it in. You just
I did
asked.
once. I was
Right.
like, look, it fits. And my dad was like, no.
Right.
Paid a lot for your bed frame, son. You're keeping that.
But then what would you do if you were
Ringo
scared?
Starr. My dad.
Three boots away, son.
There's a bomb. Where's Adam? His room's empty.
You can't use this cupboard. They leave me me coats and me boots in here, son.
Did you share with Jack? Or did you have your own
Up
room?
until I was about 13, yeah, we had bunk beds. And then that room with the cupboard in became Jack's room then. And I moved into the back room.
Who was top dog? Who was bottom dog?
I was the top dog.
You've got pubes
Because when
then,
Jack was very young, he used to piss the bed and I didn't want it to come through the mattress onto my face.
Nice.
right. So where were we? Adam's in a cupboard. Why is this?
He's making penis butties.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all makes sense. It all makes sense.
Hang on. Where are we? Genuinely, why are we talking about you being in
I
a
think we're
cupboard?
Chester's
Scared in
Zoo.
the dark.
Yeah, so I used to have the door slightly ajar with the lights on. Anyway, did you fuck your wife?
Yeah, she got a sandwich. A disappointing one. Really poor player rating from me.
Why?
Do you know what? I'll tell you this.
What would you give yourself out of 10?
It's 4.6. It's a low one. It's one of them one. I have to hold my hands up.
A United player.
It's just it's poor.
That's an own 4.6 is like an own goal and a red card, isn't it?
Is it?
Jonathan Woodgate.
Well, I didn't throw her out of a window with a broken hip or anything. Like it was just
Didn't accuse you of that
no.
at all.
I mean, it was
Weird thing to bring up.
It was a I mean, that's a bad performance, isn't it?
Were you
Go on,
subbed
do
off in the
things to
first
me.
half?
He didn't even make
What,
the
for
first
someone
half.
else?
Yeah.
Jeff didn't come in. No, it
but
was
she
just,
might
it
have
was
had
just
a-
poor. Just
You
didn't, you know,
subbed.
Yeah.
Oh.
just didn't get the business done for Loz. Didn't get the business done.
Did you have to put a photo up of a corner flag with like Communicado official afterwards?
I don't get the reference, but no, I didn't.
It was 1-0 to you.
Yeah.
But there's a win you don't want.
I'll put it this way. I finished my butty and Laura wasn't
Didn't get a
full.
butty.
Okay, right. But that can happen sometimes, can't it?
It can't. It can. It's happened 2 or 3 times.
Did you eat your butty too fast?
I ate my butty a bit too
Were you
fast.
too excited about the butty?
I got excited. I was like, God, I love butties. And then she was enjoying her butty, and I was like, when she enjoys it, I'm like, well, I'm really enjoying it. And then, I was like,
So when you finished your butty,
yeah.
why didn't you lick it out?
Clean that daddy's sauce up with your tongue. Tastes better when it's mixed with mummy's sauce.
Oh, God.
It's like burger sauce,
Sure.
then.
Carl,
Ketchup and mayo.
You always make it so much worse.
A little bit of vinegar.
I love it. Let's do the euphemism. Keep it going. A little bit of innuendo. Did you watch that out?
Yeah.
No.
Why didn't you go to the Muff Diving Club?
I just made my apologies. Said, we'll try this again.
Missionary?
In a fortnight. Apologies.
Missionary.
Apologies. It was a poor performance. Doesn't happen very often. I'm usually get the job done, It's a result.
Yeah.
Score draw.
Do you use toys?
Yeah, Woody got involved. Jonathan Woodygate.
Somebody come in your pussy hole.
There's a snake in your pussy. What's the other one?
I'm so glad.
This town ain't big enough for my cock.
I'm so glad my wife is a patron because she'll get to see this early. She won't have to wait till everyone else sees it.
What's the other one he says? Put him up or something. Put it up her ass.
There's a snake in your box.
There's a snake in your pussy. This cock ain't big enough for the pussy. Somebody pussied the water hole.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, I love sandwiches. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm fucking starving. I'm getting a Derek's today. And by that, I don't mean I'm driving home to Chester for sex with my wife.
The gabagool.
Dan, do you want some sexual advice?
From Finn, ideally. Go on, sorry.
Finn's fucking more than
Get
all
some
of us.
toys involved.
Yeah. Lovehoney.co.uk.
Yeah.
Code word -AFF20.
Genuinely, if you're
No.
AFF-word 20.
Ow,
if you're pumping too quickly, like, get a little fucking bullet vibrator, mate. It's like a cheat code. It's like having the unlimited weapons cheat on GTA.
Car's gone for a wank.
This is not an advert, by the way.
Right. She's got 4 arseholes, so that's
Probably need
great.
to speak to the mic.
Do you know there's a sex toy you can buy now, right? And it's a fucking incredible little contraption.
Go on.
It goes up your ass, the man, round your cock, and in her pussy or arsehole, and all of it vibrates. Isn't that an absolute Mardi Gras of a sex toy?
Yeah.
How'd you put it on? And can you get locked in together?
Yeah, what if you get stuck?
What?
Just sounds like a Chinese fucking finger trap.
You've overcomplicated the butty there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Go on, it goes round.
It could be a messy one. It's like having, it's a moist making, and it's like Ross's Boxing Day sandwich.
Never moist that. Dan, what do you think that's for?
Not sure. Genuinely.
It's a Bane mask.
It's,
Oh, you think sandwiches are your ally?
I think
You
it's just
merely
a
adopted the
It's just a
bread.
massage, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm keen to try that toy.
Are you into it? Yeah.
I've never had a cock ring on, so I think in for a penny and for a fucking anal pound, you know?
Sounds good. I mean, I just think you've got to be feeling yourself, haven't you? Is it agreed, or are you just whipping it out?
I am.
It's got to be. That's got
It's
to
got to
be.
be a sexy fuck.
Yeah.
What, rather than a functional?
Yeah, which they obviously exist. We
Right,
need to get
right,
it
right,
out.
right,
You don't put that on. You're like, lad, are you wasting your time? Yeah, come on.
A hangover fuck's that's more of a contractual obligation.
Functional
You
fuck,
both just need to just get a demon out of you.
See, I think the hangover. I think that can be a dirty one, can't it? When you're
Yeah,
all a bit.
oh yeah,
like,
it can be.
Dirty doesn't mean sexy. Sexy is like, right, we're going to put an hour in here. We're going to fucking wear
I be
outfits.
really dry, baby.
Not an hour's worth of
An hour.
pumping, but like, we're going to set the scene, you know, get the butter out early.
Really realize we're doing marathons.
But then the functional one's like, you want to come, I want to come, let's make it come.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Vibrates there on your clit. Bomb, bomb, bomb. We're both done. Happy New Year.
Right, all right. I'm gonna look into it.
But then other times, you know, it's let's have a rub and I'll lick your nipple for a bit.
And
He's right.
do you say that beforehand? Do you just sort of like just to let you know what's going on here? I like it to be
That's
all
my version
clear.
of being on a promise.
I'm gonna rub you a bit and lick your nipple. Not both of them. That's too busy.
What are you rubbing?
You don't know where to be. Pick a nipple. I'll go to work.
Oh, you got a favourite nipple.
Everyone's got a favourite name.
Fact.
Really?
Yeah, and then you have to go to the one to play, oh, yeah, and then you go back again.
Lefty wants.
Oh,
it
you
more.
mean hairs
Yeah.
of your own?
Hairs.
My favorite. I prefer my left breast to my right one.
Why?
I don't know. Just when I look down, I prefer looking that way.
Some eye comments.
I had an
below.
inside-out nipple till I was like 16.
Finn hasn't spoke much this episode. He's just waited.
How did you coax it out?
Just like whispered to it every night.
The whispering nipple.
Yeah.
My nipples are permanently erect and have been since I was 11.
Yeah, we've said that. That is weird.
And apparently it's a sign of male breast cancer, but also I'm assured I haven't got that. So
I was convinced I had a third
You need
nipple
to stop
for ages.
looking at your nipples, mate.
It was your cock.
Go on, Harry. Sorry.
I was convinced I had a third nipple for ages. And when I get changed for pee, I'm like, I am growing a third nipple. It was just a birthmark. But I'd never noticed it until...
Chandler Bing had a third nipple.
Superfluous.
The character or the guy?
The character.
All right.
That's why I said Chandler Bing and not Matthew Perry.
I don't know.
That's how he died.
Yeah.
How many times have you checked whether you have breast cancer?
What do you mean?
Because I know you're quite.
He's got health anxiety.
Yeah.
I got checked for it once because I found a lump. It turns out it was one of my ribs.
I think you're checking too hard.
Loads of lumps here.
God, oh mate, if you just really press down.
It's still there, but apparently it's like a bit of like just a bit of a bone like wonk. Like
You can't say that, Sean. It's got to be racist. Call someone a bone wonk outside.
Who knew this was going to be the breast cancer awareness episode?
Ladies, if you're at home, check your
You know,
breasts.
guys,
Fellas, check your bollocks.
check your tits.
Now.
See, I always find that hard with the checking the bollocks because,
It hurts, doesn't it?
again, how hard are you checking?
Properly, I want to get in there.
I just don't know what nubbits are meant to be
There's
in there.
loads of
there's
bumps
a
in
Dylan
there.
Moran bit about it, innit?
Because, I mean, there's
You're
balls.
looking for a lump in a bag of lumps.
Yeah.
You
Make sure you check them, fellas.
concisely and brilliantly explain exactly what I was thinking. God bless Dylan Moran.
How regularly do you check your bollocks then?
You know, it's, regular-ish. Don't know. I don't know what's there. I think you'd know, wouldn't
No,
you?
you need to feel like, is that different essentially, isn't it?
Right.
You feel
if you found a lump on your bollocks and they were like, hey,
instantly call up people, yeah. I'm not people who I'm not going to
I asked you the question, yeah, Carl. You've already called them and they go, right, it might be a bit of bollock cancer that.
Yeah.
I think it might be.
get them out.
So
Get
are we
them out.
cutting it off?
They come to you, do they?
Get them out, yeah.
Are we cutting it off or are we like trying to treat it?
Get them out.
Both of them?
I mean, if it's two of them, yeah. Yeah, gone.
Nah, I'd want to keep at least one.
You having a ballsectomy?
No, I mean, if it was one, get rid of one. If it's on two, I'm not trying to treat it, I'm getting rid of them. Personally, anyway.
Would you get the prosthetic ones or would you go like streamlined?
I'd prefer to just, like, if I'm losing me bollocks, like,
No, but it'd shrivel up, wouldn't it? It happens
Yeah.
to Wallace.
yeah.
Well, you-
But
Your bollocks shrivel up.
like, balls are inconvenient, aren't they? Do
yeah,
you know what I mean? So if I was
Can you
losing,
feel your balls right now?
yeah.
if I think about
You know
it,
what I mean? Like your balls, yeah. Oh, sorry, fellas, I don't know.
like if I was losing them and it was like, hey, we can give you prosthetic ones, but they won't be bollocks. They're just fucking table tennis balls in your sack, right? I'd be like, keep them.
Beer pong, like final move, teabag.
I'd rather have. I'd rather the fucking.
I'm telling you
wheels
right
of
now,
the plane be tucked away.
If mine have to go, I'm getting a BBL drizzy fucking, I'm getting replacement bollocks. I don't know. You're saying they're inconvenient. You've never lived without them. You
It'd
know?
make your cock look bigger though, wouldn't it?
I'm going to get some prosthetics. Absolute bastards in.
Oh, I'd rather just have the space.
My mate works.
I'd rather
with
not have to man spread on tubes.
My mate works with a man who has he calls it his goose egg, and it's like the size of like Andrew the Giant's fist, and it's just like swollen.
He needs to go to the doctor.
But he gets it out and just shows like the kitchen staff. It's like, you know how like bollocks have
What
wrinkles.
kitchen staff? Does he work in a
His
restaurant?
doesn't. Yeah, he works, yeah.
Turns up at every KFC. Excuse me. Out the way. Do you work here? No, but I've got to show the kitchen staff me bollocks.
I mean, that's problematic in so many. It sounds like he's got a horrific tumour, and he's also
Goes to the
and he's
hospital.
showing KFC stuff.
I've seen a photo and it's like if you,
You'd want to see it.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
but it
there's
shouldn't be his profile
there's no
picture.
wrinkles.
Ah, have you ever heard that story? The girl who sucked. Do you know that?
It was we had a picture, didn't we?
Oh,
when was that? A couple of years ago. We had that picture.
So one of my ex, I must have said this last time this came up, but one of my exes had a brother, and he got a water infection. You know how women get water infections every time they start like a new sex life? You know what I mean? When they start like seeing a new lad, often women can get a little UTI, and it's fine for them, and it's a bit uncomfortable. But they just take a few like of those little like fizzy sachets, and then after a few days they're all right. When men get water infections, it's a lot worse. It's a bigger problem for us, or it certainly can be. And my ex's brother got a water infection, and I could like draw his bollocks for you right now, like it was a photograph. I've got such a clear memory of it. Like, see the cup next to the sake. Is that sake?
It is, yeah.
Like, one of his bollocks was that big,
That face on it as well.
but
That is
his other
quite
one
large.
next to it was just still the normal size.
Oh, you want them both to go or not at all?
It honestly, like, and he had to get air at it. So when we went to see him in the hospital, he just had one of his bollocks out, and we were just sat round the bed with his sister, his mum, his stepdad,
his
me,
bollock.
This giant bollock.
and we're just all talking about like the footy and that, and it's just one of his bollocks is out. One of my weirdest memories.
Is it? Had it been like it? Just he's got a leg out and one bollock. Just
Yeah,
right.
yeah, because they were like, it needs to breathe.
My mate's
It
cousin.
started breathing.
It was going
know?
to the toilet and told him.
It's starting school soon.
My mate's cousin fell at the side of a pool and landed like leg either side, and his bollocks fell off and fell into the pool. And it was like, you know, like when they go like throw this in and we'll go snorkel for like
Who had to go for it? He couldn't.
they had to go and get his bollocks from the bottom of the
What do you mean they fell out?
It's in so the sack they just or at least one of them did just severed on the corner of the corner of the pool, and they had to go snorkel for it.
What a fucking hero move that is.
With your mouth.
You come out with a. Is it this? It's not. It's a plaster.
Did you ever used to play dead in the pool and see if anyone cared?
I would if my bollocks fell off.
Love that game. No one cares.
This is the harsh reality of life, isn't it?
Where were you swimming?
You're in a pool and you do the floaty thing. You're like, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, and then you get bollocked for it by a lifeguard. Do you never get bollocked? I've done it, and then
As
someone
an adult.
No, as a kid.
Oh no, I mean
That's what he was doing on the beach last year on his own. Just floating.
Does anyone care? No. The Chinese guy's like, oh no, we can't rub his feet no more. Good accent, Carl. If you're at home, check your boobies and your balls. There's a little New Year PSA for you.
There you go.
Might save
Happy
someone's
New
life.
Year, okay? If you're having sex with your wife, don't be afraid to get toys involved and make her go off like a broken fire hydrant. Yeah? Make sure she's finishing too. And on top of that, check your balls, check your boobs. Let's make sure none of our Patreons get cancer. And even if you're a pube.
We do care about you as
The
well.
obvious priority there.
29,500. One of them's got a lump somewhere, so check and find it. Just odds.
I fancy a sandwich.
It's 1 in 3, so it's probably like, a fair few thousand.
No. 1 in 3 in their life.
Yeah, well, they're still alive, aren't they?
Right.
It's a fun way to go to a break.
What's happening, lads? Time to tell you about my absolute favourite sponsor. It's True Classic. And if you go to trueclassic.com/word, there's some absolutely brilliant offers on at the minute on some of the best and most fashionable clothes on the market. Now, if you're trying to up your style game, okay, if you're after a t-shirt, for example, that is nice and fitted around your chest and arms and gives you a little bit more room in the belly area.
Accentuating your good bits.
Yeah.
You're a real man.
True
You need a
Classic can
t-shirt.
sort you out. And also, it's not just t-shirts, hoodies, jeans, more, packs of 3, 6, and 9. You can get all of it at trueclassic.com/word.
Really good quality, moisture wicking. I
Yeah.
love moisture. Odor fighting. This is well-made stuff for real men.
Yeah,
you know,
there's
I got
loads
a
of
little bit of gut. This is after all of Mom's Christmas cooking.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you're going into the new year looking to get back in the gym, there's activewear as well. You can get everything you want to up your wardrobe for the new year at trueclassic.com/word. That's trueclassic.com/WORD. Head there now, shop, and elevate your wardrobe today. Wow. Hello!
Welcome.
Part 2 of 4.
Big guest
Sounds
today.
like it. It is a big guest, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we take them for granted a little bit now. Russell Howard is one of the forerunners of British comedy when we were kids.
Forerunners?
I reckon he's the
we
part.
got big, didn't we?
He's part
We
of the
got big.
reason I properly got into stand-up. Introduced me to so many people that have appeared there, but that I'd never seen before.
On Good News.
Yeah, on the extra.
Yeah,
Sunday
that was
show.
sweet. I bet that was him that said, we'll ask him, that said, we should have a little bit of stand-up as well and we'll get people on.
It's so funny if we ask him and he's like, no, I hated that. Hated sharing my show with those cunts.
I used to love Russell Howard's Good News. It was such easy, good watching every weekend. It was like a news roundup and it was fucking boss.
It was massive as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. When BBC Three was the place to be.
And always dead sound. He was doing bits when I started out, but he was like the young making moves comic. Like he was, because I was young as well. There was so few like dead young comics that were actually doing stuff. it was like it felt like the 30-year-olds older. They were all the ones doing stuff, but he was getting like newcomer just as I at the Edinburgh Fringe.
Is he the same age as you?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, but he started a little
Forget
early.
how much of a mainstay he was on Mock the Week as well.
Yeah.
He was one of the OGs, wasn't
Like,
he? Him,
he's
Frankie
the peak
Boyle.
of Mock the Week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, part of the fucking reason it blew. Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, we can lick his ass when he gets in. You got any prep?
No,
Dan?
but we can't lick his ass when we get it. You can't do that,
we
can
can
you?
say like well in for smashing cop, but we can't be like you were the best.
Okay.
You say that.
You were the
Please say
best.
that.
You the best.
best.
You're the bear, Ronald.
DJ Khaled.
Hey, Ronald.
I will be in the company of one with you.
Yeah, mate. Hey, yo.
No, don't do that.
No, you'll think of the same.
Oh, Russell, you the best, man.
Mr. Howe.
I think we should do the whole until he goes, what are you doing?
That's because you the best. Y'all know you the best. Get motherfuckers on to do 10 minutes of stand up. Unknown motherfuckers.
Nathan Kate.
Crazy ass. A take on the news. It was
You
different.
share your show with Nathan Cain, Sean Welch,
Nathan
Ian
Cain.
Sterling. Wow.
And the other guy who was
Y'all
dick.
didn't need to do that.
That was a gamble.
Y'all pay them money? Damn.
Give them exposure and shit.
Should we do some?
What am I showing you?
Yo, bro. Yo, bro.
Shit.
You giving exposure and shit?
He's a big
This
guy.
motherfucker exposing everybody, but in a good way. Yo. So we got some. Oh, did you have a good New Year's Eve, by the way?
It's really good, yeah.
Yeah? The Hootenanny. What did you call it?
Super party.
Super party.
Super party.
Do you see yourselves doing it again, or is it
No.
one off?
In a different way. Tell me to shut up and listen to comedy in the closes on.
Yeah, it's good. Are you doing it again? Not a
It was
fucking
really good. I think there was a few logistical issues that we had to feel our way through. The stand-up was... Rob Mulholland was as good as I've ever seen him. I can't believe how brilliant he was.
Man's got good.
His routine about refugees is fucking unbelievably funny. Me and Carl were like looking at each other, dying laughing at it.
Like, I haven't laughed at stand-up for a while. I was like, oh, that's some good shit.
Callum Oakley was really good as well, but Rob really took it. Like,
People basically
people
wanted
were
a
ready
party.
for the party
Yeah,
to
yeah,
become a party.
Yeah.
The second we got Ross Maguire on and then the band on and we started doing music, it was fucking class. It just, I think... We put this big event together where it was like, you know, stand-up, quiz, big party.
Because you
live
want to
music.
give everyone everything.
Yeah, and everyone enjoyed all of it, I think. But then I think towards the end of the quiz, people were like, oh, party time now. So we were going to do the beer pong, like, finale thing, you know, where it's like you play us to win the... What we do is when we do Carl's quiz, the winner gets 100 quid. They can gamble it to win £1,000, but they have to beat us at beer pong to win the grand. But I just was sensing people were ready for the party. So I just went up to Carl and went, let's just give the winner the grand. We want them to win it anyway.
Nice.
And to be fair, the people who won it said they wanted to give half of it to Zoe's place.
So there was
Oh,
two
fucking
couple,
legend.
there was a couple of students and an older couple, not an old couple, but like older than them, and they made a team together because they shared a table. And the couple who were older went, "We're going to give our half to charity, and the students can keep their half."
The students were like, respectfully, great charity. I'm fucking skint.
So £500 for Zoe's place and £500 for some students.
Oh, that's really good.
It all worked out in the end.
I'm so glad I made it. Like, I left Manchester about 10:10, and it was like weather warning rain. And I nearly just went, oh, it's just going to be easier to drive home. And it would have been so shit just driving home and going to bed. And I got there. I nearly didn't get in.
Really? Yeah.
With bouncers, and
But we told the doorman to be really strict and hadn't really considered
Oh, well,
that.
he took that on board. He literally, as I came up, went, hello, mate, I'm for upstairs for Adam and Carl's party. I'm late, I had gigs, but I'm on the guest list. And he literally just stepped forward and filled the door and he went, there is no guest list. And I was like, listen, I know bouncers have to deal with dickheads all the time. I know it's New Year's Eve, but it's one of those ones where you're guilty till proven innocent with a bouncer, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I just feel like he could have read the one-man room a little better. And I know better than to ever go, do you know who I am? Like, I was like, oh, mate, I saw how combative this could have got if I'd have gone, could you go and fucking check? So I was like, right, I'm not being a dickhead. I haven't got a wristband. I haven't been here. These are my mates. I do a podcast with them. They knew I was coming late. He went, lad, first night? I don't know, but there's no guest list. Ooh. I went, I run comedy here. We run the podcast together. It's not my event. I went, oh, I remember Jamie's name. I went, could you speak to Jamie? And he nearly went, I don't know. Like, it was so at the point where I was like, am I going to have to ring you at your own party to go, can you come and get me? I'm outside. And then he turned to the other bouncer, and obviously I'd said Jamie's name, and she went, yeah, like he knows one of the names. So then he went, can you just move aside? I thought he said, can you just move aside so you're not in the doorway that no one was using, because no one was using it. And I was like, I nearly went, fuck me, you're being eggy. And I stepped aside, and he went, no, I meant indoors so you're not getting rained on. I was like, oh, thank fuck. I was like, thank fuck, mate. I nearly had to go. I would never want to, I nearly wanted to go, I'm Dan Nightingale.
From the internet.
Anyway, one of the managers came down and went, I thought it was Dan. I was like, and then they were so sound. And while we were waiting, because it was eggy, I was like, has it been busy? How's your New Year been? Do you know what I mean? I was dead friendly. And I think they were sound. I think they were just been prepped for knobheads. But I didn't realise that you had also gone, be strict with it.
No, we all we've done is go, there was a guest list that he should have known about. But I was like, look, once it because me and Carl did the door. I was like, once we're gone, if people haven't got a wristband on,
they're blagging.
They're well too late and they're blagging it.
Yeah, well, I got the brunt of that.
Apparently, so Thomas Green and Freddie Quinn came after they did Hot Water, and they got there just before you. So as they're about to come in, I don't know which doorman they spoke to, but they were like, we're here for Adam's party. We work with him, we're comedians. And they were like, I don't know, but we haven't been told you to come in, lads. Sorry. And they went, look, mate, we've just been at the comedy club. Like, we're not even drinking. We're just coming to say hello to the lads. Like, we work with them. And apparently the doorman went to them, do you know what, lads? I've seen a lot of liars and you don't look like one. Go on.
You must look like a liar.
So that's, in my head, I'm like, there's nothing about, like, you know, I'm not stumbling in pissed. I'm like turning up, piss wet through in a coat. So in those situations, I never go arsey, because I'm like, I've seen that. I've seen, even if you think you're in the right, if you go arsey, they'll go, I don't give a fuck who you know. You've been a dickhead. So by the end, we're saying, like, as I came down, I was only in there an hour and a half. I literally came out, I was like, Happy New Year. They were like, see you, lads. Thank you, mate.
Oh,
like,
yeah, he was cool.
Always
he was
the best
just
way.
good at his job.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always work out for us.
So Manchester was dead. Like, I got there early to do the beer cellar. The beer cellar, they'd only sold 100 at the Comedy Store. I've heard the beer cellar can be like lively. The Comedy Store have been there for a year and a half or whatever. It was like doing a Wednesday night gig. It was like doing a student gig. They were just like dead friendly. The Frog was really bouncy. I got to Manchester so early that I hadn't had tea. Walked past a restaurant. It looked really nice. One of like, you know, like the newer, cooler pizzeria gaffs in the Northern Quarter. I was like, I'm just going to chance it. I was like, can I get a table for one? I'm going to be half an hour. I've got a gig. I don't know if you've fully booked. And he was like, we're going to have fully booked. The whole restaurant's just empty. I don't know what's going on with New Year's Eve.
Didn't
or
see
whether it's
Hot Water
touch
told
early.
me that they were a bit slow with New Year's as well. This year, I think just New Year's has just become
And also-
house parties and staying in.
Things have got expensive now.
I think the idea of New Year is always better than the actual thing itself.
New Year's has always been expensive. Like,
Well, I mean,
there's never
life
been
is
it like
expensive, so
where
people aren't-
some pubs have gone. It's a 25 quid ticket where they'd never even charged.
I mean, with people having less money and then they've blown Christmas and they're like, we're just staying for New Year.
Yeah.
I think that's happening a lot more.
It looked like it. The atmosphere at your place was
Oh,
great.
yeah.
It was so good to do New Year's Eve on the stage and like see it in properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the hour afterwards, after midnight, it was fucking absolutely bouncing money.
We've got some.
The band, the class as well.
I've booked.
Cool as fuck.
I've booked
then.
Ross for our anniversary party.
Have you? Yeah.
So I've been trying to get Laura on board with the idea of she's 40, and then about 2 weeks later, it's our 10-year wedding anniversary. This isn't for another year and a bit. It's May 2026. But because I want a good venue and because you're going to be busy, like we could book something in for the pod, but all my comic mates are going to be busy. I wanted to be first thing in the diary and get who I wanted. I wanted Ross to be the musician. I'm getting Smoke Face Griller to do the food. Because I'm going early, I'm getting exactly what I want. I'm hoping to get the right venue in Chester, and like that's just about to confirm. And I've got
Second wedding, innit?
I've got this pot. I'm booking a wedding without the boring bit of the fucking
We don't
ceremony.
have to watch the play.
Everyone gets there at 4, an hour of just like mingling. 5, we do the food. There's a beer garden. Hopefully, get a marquee up. Everyone gets proper food, not just like, oh yeah, we've got a buffet on. We've got fucking smoke face griller, mate. And then I'm booking a kids show because there's going to be 25, 30 kids there. I'm hoping.
Excited?
Yeah.
It's a kid's magician. And if you know the game, you know who it is. And then Ross Maguire's going to do a couple of hours of music with
I
a
don't
break.
know the kids magician game.
What?
Does everyone know the kids magician game?
Is it Don Woodward?
It's wacky Woody, mate.
Yes.
I haven't asked
I
him
don't know
yet.
what that is.
What?
I genuinely don't know what that is.
God, you've lost the love of the kids
I thought it was
magician
gonna be
game.
Fairman.
So I'm booking it in.
I had something to say, and it's completely gone out my head.
Kids parties, Dan's anniversary, it's a wedding.
Sandwiches, Jaguars. We've got some.
It's really annoying.
Swear.
It's going to be really good as well.
It'll come back. Stop thinking about it.
This would have been a great episode.
Stop thinking about it.
Sorry, Russell.
Oh,
There you go.
oh. Do you know what I did? I watched the roast yesterday.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, it's good.
Yes.
So well done. Now, if you're a casual fan of the pod, or maybe you're a brand new viewer or listener because you're a fan of Russell Howard, we are we're the #1 Patreon in the UK. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's a way to provide extra content for your listeners, followers, whatever.
It's on the internet. It's on the internet.
We do an extra episode every single week. We do early access to these public episodes, and we do a Patreon special every month, which is something on top of the extra episode that you already get. And last month's Patreon special was the roast of Have a Word 2. So if you've seen like those big American roasts, like the roast of Tom Brady on Netflix and stuff, we did our version of that. The lineup was insane. The biggest names on the bill were like Daniel Sloss, Tom Stade, Finn Taylor, Freddie Quinn was on, Hattie Preston was on, Thomas Green was on, Ishan Akbar, Rebecca Goodwin, and me and Dan. And it was so good on the night. But I'd forgotten 95% of the jokes. And I sat on my couch yesterday fucking screaming, laughing at them. There's so many comments on it that are like, oh, Sloss and Hattie were the best on this. And they were both brilliant. I'm telling you right now, the best on the night was Finn Taylor again. If you rewatch that as a comic, he goes really early. He's on right after Ishan, right at the start.
He also has Rebecca leave the stage.
He has to deal with Rebecca leaving the stage. Spoilers. Rebecca had to leave momentarily. And he absolutely nailed it. And even if you're not interested in any of the other Patreon specials, if you're into dark, offensive comedy, that's what a roast is. And if you sign up at patreon.com/haveawordpod, even if you just watch that roast and go back and watch the first one, for £3, mate, nobody's producing stuff like that anywhere in the world. And I'm so proud of Will and everyone on the bill for what they did. Tom Stade's casual set, the way he did it, like it was like he obviously did, but the way he delivered it was like he hadn't even wrote it.
Yeah.
He delivered it like he was just thinking of it like off the top of his head.
I didn't think he'd prep as much. I thought he'd be like, I'm Thomas Stade, I'll just roll in. He'd really done the work.
But he performed it perfectly. He's so good at that, isn't he? Like,
It's one of the most popular things we've ever done. It's right up there now with the absolute like crown jewels of our Patreon. And we're up to about 40, 45 specials.
Probably more
I
now,
think
yeah.
that's going to go down as one of the most popular. The
Wheels.
first roast that we did 2.5 years ago.
Wheels are in motion for maybe the roast 3 later this year.
Can I not be in the back of the shot so people are like, Don's pulling a fucking whitey? Oh my God, Don's having a fucking out-of-body experience. Are you all right,
It's
Don?
worth saying that as well, because I watched it, and because there's a few comments on it going, fucking hell, Adam and Dan weren't enjoying that, where did they found that really hard? It wasn't that. You're just constantly thinking about the routines you've wrote, whether someone's stepping on what you've said, like trying to react. You sort of forget you're on camera, and to be on camera for that long, knowing you've essentially got to do new material in front of like 1,200 people. We love doing it. It's just a stressful, nervous night. And on top of that, you know when you watch the roast of Tom Brady, every comic on the bill is just booked as talent. Their job is to turn up and do the thing. We're not just on we're also running the whole event and producing the special. And obviously we've got Will and the whole team doing it for us and with us. But we're entirely responsible for every inch of the thing. And it just adds a layer of stress that you can see out a couple of times on our face. But I watched it and I was like, we're fucking laughing at everything.
It's been on camera for 3 hours and people judging your.
But we
reaction.
loved it. There's comments going, I don't think the lads enjoyed that. We loved it.
Listen, I find them hard, and I had to really concentrate. But I was much happier with what I did on that one and it's not my strong suit, but I still enjoyed it. The sense of I was so proud of how it was going. It was an amazing. The room was brilliant. Considering we had to switch venues, the Olympia were fucking brilliant. It looked stunning. It's also a culmination of everything that we've done, isn't it? It's not, our pod is not just about us. It's about raising up these brilliant comedians. I mean, not Sloss, he's already fucking doing bits, but like all of our mates are there thriving and shining. It's phenomenal. You don't need to be on camera at the back all the time. No. Maybe even at the gig that I'm enjoying, like my best gig of the year, 10 minutes before I go on, I'm not like back at the backstage going, this is great. You're just concentrating. But I was fine. And I loved it. And I'm so glad that everyone loved it as well.
Patreon.com/haveawordpod. Go and join the biggest Patreon in the UK and the 15th biggest on the planet, and you will not regret it. People don't tend to leave once they sign up.
That's not a threat.
Thank you, Dan.
There you go. That was the wrong orange button. We finally got some.
How do I play as a man without touching myself?
What was that?
Mate, you fat-handed twat.
What was that?
What was that?
What's that? Who's put this man play on? Sorry, Adam.
Oh, I did
Awful.
that months ago.
I thought it was just porn playing.
Yeah, it did
I
sound
genuinely
like
thought
it.
that was your porn.
Cameroonian manager 35 says, good day, lids. Eventually got a question for you. Pick a famous, attractive celebrity couple. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's put in brackets. This question is from 2016. If you got swapped into their bodies for an hour, so Adam is Angelina and Dan is Brad, so you both have your own mind, but have their body and sound like them, would you bonk? After you both return to your own bodies and have the memory. After you both return and have the memory. Cheers, love the pod.
So basically, do I want to fuck Brad Pitt?
Yeah, what's he on about? Surely it has to be a lesbian couple.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Dan doesn't want to.
This is an episode of Black Mirror, isn't it?
I don't want to fuck.
What?
In the video game.
Yeah,
Like
when I
they fuck
made you watch
each other.
Striking Vipers.
They
Go on,
fuck each other.
I haven't seen it.
There's these two guys who, it's like a virtual reality kind of game, who keep going into the game with their headsets on, and then they like go into whatever it is.
So it's a
Matrix.
futuristic
VR.
VR.
Fully immersed, you feel everything.
But they're like, it's a woman and a man, isn't it? In the game.
In the game.
Yeah, and they just fuck.
Well,
But then they remember it when they get out of the game.
Adam had never seen Black Mirror.
I watched the USS Callister yesterday.
That's the best one. Adam had never seen it, and I went, watch this one. It's the one I've just seen recently. And he went, why the fuck did he make me watch that one? USS Callister. That's the best one, because that makes you fucking angry, that one.
USS Callister.
The emotions you're feeling that are real.
Because he's an arsehole, isn't he?
Yeah, it's good though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to
Jesse Plemons
experience
is the goat.
everything, and it's like, it's, dipping your toe into a gay experience without it being gay. You're having sex with a woman.
No, but I'm not. I'm fucking Brad Pitt, aren't I?
Oh, in this one.
What about if you're Brad Pitt and he's Angelina? Would you
I'd
be
do
fine
that,
with that?
yeah.
Would you fuck me as if I was Angelina?
But do I remember it as fucking Angelina?
But you know it's Dan.
Have they got your voice or Angelina's voice?
Angelina's
No,
voice.
they've got my Lancastrian twang.
If I put it in your ass and you go, is it? Then I'll be like, fucking.
No, it's Angelina. It's just with his, like, thoughts.
What?
Stan's
Adam.
cognition, but it's Angelina's body and voice.
No, if it's Angelina, then it's fine. I'd fuck Angelina. I just don't want to fuck Brad Pitt. It'd be nice to be Angelina for a bit, though. Smaller tits.
Heavy. She checked for lumps.
It's a good joke.
She checked.
She cut them off voluntarily, didn't
She
she?
did. I mean, it was to stop something happening. She didn't just decide to cut her tits off.
I think she did.
I think it was a great.
It really is the breast cancer awareness episode.
They said you got a very, very, very high chance of getting it, and she went, right, get them off so I don't.
Yeah, proactive.
She didn't just decide she didn't want tits.
Oh, I
These are
thought
getting in
that's
the
what
way.
happened.
These are ruining fucking every game of tennis I play in.
It was a good joke.
I thought she got told, hey, breast cancer is like fucking not ideal, by the way. And
And she was like, what? Who said this?
I thought she was just like, woo.
No, she got told
Fuck
she had
that,
a
don't
high
risk it.
chance.
Yeah, you get high, like you check your like history and
Would
percentage.
you do that
chance
with
of
your
getting it.
bollocks?
Yeah.
If they told you you
Carl,
haven't
do
got
you
it.
just want rid of your bollocks?
No, I did it with Wallace as well.
You got it. What?
One of Wallace's bollocks had moved into his stomach when he was a puppy, and he went, "It's fine, it's not going to hurt him, but there's a high chance that one will become cancerous." And I went, "Get them out then." Why? What? Like, I would do.
So if you got told you haven't got bollock cancer, but there's a high chance you'll get it.
High chance. Give me a percentage.
65.
Yeah, I'll get rid of them. Yeah, I think anything 50 and above. Would you not?
I like being able to come.
You're like, yeah, but you can't come if you're dead.
Oh, put it on a t-shirt. That has got to be. That has got to be on the merch.
Like, no, I genuinely get them out, yeah, because then you get to live your life, you get to be safe and live your life and be healthy, yeah, of course.
You know, if you have prosthetic bollocks, do you have like prosthetic cum?
You have to load up.
Silly string.
It's like when you fill the ketchup bottle up that you've got in your house.
Way! Like the fella in Sapporo. Way! Just out with his cock.
If there's a lad who's worried about bollock cancer and he watches Have a Word to take his mind off it, this episode has been a living nightmare for him.
Is
Isn't
it
it?
torn? Joe, people go there now and send pictures of us of him because they're like, we're torn.
What was his name?
Torn. Yeah, like get them gone. I don't know what the question was, but I'm fucking Brad Pitt probably.
Would
yeah.
you? Yeah. That was the
Brad Pitt's
question.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I just don't want to shag any men.
Grow up.
Let's change the couples.
Blake Lively and
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
You love Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, God, I'd hate fuck him. Boring cunt.
Would you be happy being Ryan Reynolds for a bit though? You just go and get him in
Yeah, Blake
trouble.
Lively is gorgeous. Yeah, and say all the words. Machine Gun Kelly and Angelina Jolie. He's good looking,
I just like obviously
no,
if
Megan Fox. Megan Fox.
if I'm any attractive man and I can like have sex with a beautiful, attractive woman consensually, then class, yes.
This is where
But
it's
I'm not
going.
shagging any men.
Agreed.
Yeah, what? Even in VR.
I'm not shagging any men.
Why? What do you mean? What's that? No.
That's just me personally. Like I'm not against it. You want to shag men, Dan? Crack on, son.
Just
Game on.
Game on. Just not in real life. It's just all too real. But get me in the, get me plugged in. I'll get plugged in.
Mental.
It's crazy. Isn't it?
Would you shag a man? Like, would you? If Adam was the woman?
I honestly can't follow this.
Go on. Adam is who's your woman? Pixie lot with tats.
Oh God.
Is it still that?
Good God. Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's Adam. Like he's got Adam's thoughts.
Yeah, but he'd ruin it, wouldn't he?
How?
He'd say things. He wouldn't just
In her
let...
voice though.
He wouldn't. Yeah, but he's still gonna fucking up the Reds. They're gonna win the league. He'd say something, and I'd be like, "Oh, it's Adam, innit?
I would do that.
Can I play with your pussy? 2 minutes, 2 seconds."
Can I play with you? Don't ask. I mean, don't take either. But,
You should ask.
I mean,
I always ask.
play the game.
When I'm about to play with Adam's pussy, I really like consent.
Have you not moved on from
What
your
are we
woman?
d- What?
Because that was your woman 5 years ago. Has your taste not changed?
I don't know. It's just a visualization. Sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds good. Peroxide blonde hair, very beautiful, with a few tattoos. Yeah. I mean, my algorithm will tell you what I like. You just stick on the FYP on Insta, and it's like, this is what you like.
Henchwomen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you were into that.
Oh, if Adam was hench. as well.
Units.
What if he was Jodie? What is it? Jodie. Huh?
Jodie
What?
Marsh.
Jodie Marsh.
Jonah Bach. What if I was Jonah Bach?
Oh,
She was a
she
strong
was
woman.
hench.
Joan of Arc. Right,
yeah.
next question.
That one went on too long.
Sam Jackson says, this is stand-up related. Wag wag lids. Do you or any comedians you know have any superstitions or things you do before you get on stage?
No, but there is people. You used to be like this, didn't you?
Could you not delete questions when I'm in them? That was so discombobulated. I was like, I think that was a question. Sorry, go on.
You used to like. We must have told this story before, but I heard years ago that you didn't like getting paid before you went on, and you gigged with Andrew Maxwell
Yeah, I told that. Yeah, I told the story
when he was on.
No, I was one of the. I think comics do things because they see other comics do it, and it was very early on in my career, and I hadn't decided if that was a superstition. Or, when comics like, oh, you can't pay me, and I was like, I remember being a bit like, is that wank? And then I just saw a proper comic go, what a load of bullshit. And I was like, yeah,
Do you know what he
is
did?
bullshit.
So Dan was like, I don't want to get paid before I go on. And Andrew Maxwell was like, give me fucking money. And every time I get a laugh, I'm going to move 20 quid from this pocket into this one. And he did it.
And I never.
That's it.
I think the more you do stand up and the more confident you are about it, the less you'll ever have any superstitions, because you realize it's not about any exterior factor. Like when people are like, oh, I couldn't eat before I do a set, you're like, fuck off.
Yeah,
I don't have scran right before I go on.
Surely you go out with them, but when you new, I'm guessing a lot of new ones have them. Oh, I have to wear this jacket or something. Surely.
Well, yeah, no,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think that's super. I used to wear a jacket on stage because I wanted it to look like I didn't give a shit. I wanted it to look like I'm not staying long, so I've kept my jacket on. That's genuinely why I started wearing jackets on stage.
Yeah, I wore a full parka for the first 6 months of my career. Just zipped up. I'm camping. I don't even need to be here.
Did you?
No.
Fucking hell, 5 years.
I turned up. I did the gig out of the window of my car. Like, I'm just getting fucking drive through me.
Harry
Harry
Redknapp.
Redknapp.
I'm signing Nico Cranshaw. I'm getting off, to be honest, lads.
Yes, Nico Cranshaw. If you've got a superstition and you're a new comic, just fuck it off. Watch, you'll see. There's nothing.
Yeah, but what happens if they get like, I don't know, they fall over on stage?
What?
Say like, oh, I've got to wear these shoes, and then they wear different shoes, and they walk on stage and fall over, and they're like, oh,
Do you know what? My superstition of not wearing
Don't
fucking
wear
high heels.
rollerblades. Do not wear rollerblades if you're not used to them.
I've got a superstition. Don't drink cyanide just before you get on. I don't think it's going to help. I've always stuck with
That's
that.
your superstition. That's your pre-show ritual, is not doing something.
Yeah. I'm sticking to it. It's worked for me.
I've seen comics doing like vocal warm-ups.
Yep.
You know what I mean, don't you?
Yes, I do. Cool
In
guy.
like the mirror, he was doing like fucking.
Oh, please.
What?
Who is it?
Andy Watson. Does vocal warm. Well, he used to, at the very least, used to do vocal warm-ups. And I did a hot water when it was at the Crown with him, and there used to be a mirror at the top of the stairs, but like before the room. And he was, as the audience were coming in, walking past them, he was doing vocal warm-ups and like pretending he had like shotguns in the mirror and stuff.
Cool.
And by the way, there's some great comics have weird stuff that they do, and like there's a lot of comics go a bit quiet and not nervous, but
That's
like,
you.
Look at Sean Walsh.
Yeah.
I don't.
Before a big show, you go very into yourself.
Yeah. And you bring your juggling balls, don't you?
I'm talking I start juggling.
I'm going, no, leave him alone. He's
He's nervous.
I've seen Sean Walsh, who is literally one of the best comics I've ever worked with. And this is not a big show thing. This is just every show. It looks like he wants to fucking throw himself off the roof. He's like, oh God, he looks like he hates going through it, and then walks on and is the best comic you're going to see.
But if you
that
believe
year.
Sean on his material, and I do, I think all of Sean's material comes from a place of truth. Sean's like that with going the shops for bread.
Yeah, Sean
I
hates
think he's
being
just like,
alive.
I'm trying to do this.
Yeah, he hates everything, but he's good at it.
Sean is Carl, by the way. He just wants to lie down in the dark.
Yeah, I see. No, I don't like the dark. A light on. Yeah, I see a lot of myself in Sean. Be asked.
Do you know? I want to prefix this by saying I don't know this to be true, and I'll tell you who told me it afterwards, because I don't want to grass anyone up with like a rumor. Someone years ago told me we were talking about like you know how some people get like really successful and then people on the circuit start calling them a gobshite.
Yeah.
Right. Like Peter Kay. A lot of people slag Peter Kay off, don't they?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot of people slag Peter Kay off, and he's not the only one. And another one that I'd heard slagged off quite a bit is Michael McIntyre. Now, I've met Michael once, and he was so sound to me, and he was funny, and he was class.
Same.
And I just didn't believe. After I'd met him, I was like, oh, I think maybe there's a bit of jealousy. So I don't know this to be true, but this is something that someone told me.
Oh, it's just the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, and also, even if it is true, I don't hate it.
It's funny and quirky.
If it's for him, do you know what I'm about to say?
Go on.
So they're backstage at like a Jongler's Christmas gig or whatever it was, and Michael had gone into the bathroom, like the comedian's bathroom, and he hadn't locked the door. So the comic I'm now talking about came in and went straight into the toilet. I was like, oh, sorry. And he says that Michael was in the mirror psyching himself up. and on his T-shirt, it said Michael McIntyre Comedy God, but he was wearing it inside out so that it read right in the mirror.
I think that's so
Gotta be.
impossible to make up.
Really?
Yeah.
So specific. Okay. Yeah, but I can understand why comedians want to tell that story. And where do you Chinese whisper that along the line? Like, what can you add? Like, has the T-shirt bit been added?
I think the reverse thing, maybe. And it read wrong in the mirror, so someone's gone, yeah, they're inside those.
But here's the thing with it.
Comics are mental.
Here's the thing with it, right? Here's why I'm like, first of all, I don't hate that. If that's what his ritual was, and he was like, he's going into battle, and he's like, I'm gonna. And look, whatever he's done, it has fucking worked. He's become one of the biggest comedians, biggest in terms of tickets. I think Michael McIntyre, as much as he's never someone we talk about as like, they're like our favourite comics. When I put a Michael McIntyre special on sometimes as like background noise, I end up watching it and I laugh more than when I'm watching Chappelle. Like I appreciate what Chappelle's doing more as like a artist and stuff. But like I laugh more.
We talked about this the other day because I've been watching a bit of Brian Regan.
McIntyre makes you laugh.
Yeah,
He's funny
yeah.
and if that's what he needed to get himself to that level, I don't even think it's a slag off, right?
He was doing it in private as well. He was doing it in private in the toilet.
He was doing it in private in the toilet. Like, it was just his little thing. But here's why I'm like, that could be true, right? The person who told me that wasn't like, oh, I heard someone else seen this. They were like, I walked into the toilet.
There's no whispers.
There's no...
Yeah.
He told me that. I walked into the toilet and this is what was happening.
I think it's true.
I want it to be true.
I think it's true, and it's funny and stupid, and he wouldn't give a fuck.
I fucking love to get him on Monday and ask him.
I don't think he'd care. I think he'd go, yeah, fucking shit. I think he'd...
Do you think he's done that as a joke though, to wind up, so that because he's left the door unlocked, that someone could come in and because he did that thing where when Jim Jeffries got punched, he was backstage, wasn't he? And he had.
If that's
had
what
the
he was
screen
doing,
on.
by the way,
He's a genius. He's been on.
Yeah. Because I'm not sure. I can't remember if Jim Jeffries told it when he was on, but he had he saw Jim Jeffries get punched, then switched the screen over.
We did do this when Jim was on, yeah. He was at the Manchester Comedy Store. He watched Jim Jeffries get punched on stage. He turned the telly off in the dressing room. Jim come into the dressing room, and McIntyre had a newspaper out, as if he hadn't been watching. And he went, "How's the gig go, Jim?" And Jim was like, "Someone just punched me in the face." And he said, "No one can follow me."
I'd fucking love to get Michael McIntyre on the car. I know that's an obvious one. Like, would you get him on? Fuck me, that'd be good.
Yeah. Well, let's get Russell Howard on for now, eh?
See you in a bit.
What's happening, lads? Time to tell you about our absolute OG favourite sponsor, Manscaped.com. With the promo code WORD20, you get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Now, it's the new year, isn't it? New year, new you. And new you means new bollock hair, okay? Cut your bollock hair, shave it down a bit, especially your mons pubis as well. Oh, yeah. And on top of that, due to the packages they now offer at manscaped.com with the promo code WORD20 for 20% off and free worldwide shipping, it's not just bollocks anymore. They do your face as well, and your nose, and your ears, mate. Don't they, Don?
The Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Now, listen, my pubes are impeccable because of Manscaped, but the Beard Hedger Pro Kit, it's great. I don't go and get a fancy beard cut from someone else charging God knows what. Do it myself, and it's unbelievable. Sort your face game out as well as your pube game.
So there's the Beard Hedger Pro Kit, there's the Chairman Pro package, there's the Ultra Smooth package, there's the Perfect Package 5.0 Ultra, there's the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, and there's the Platinum Package 5.0 Ultra. Also, you could buy products individually, and it's not just the shavers. There's underwear, there's ball deodorant, there's ball toner, there's all sorts to suit your budget and whatever you need.
You should have been bought it for Christmas. If you haven't, why don't you treat yourself in the new year?
Treat yourself. And also, Valentine's Day is coming up. Hey, if you're a lady watching this and you're thinking, you know what, I would suck my fella off more if only his pubes were in a much better state. Yeah. Well, give him this and write that in a card.
And maybe your wife's got a beard and you wanted to shave it. It's so many options.
Absolutely. There you go. Manscaped.com. Promo code's WORD20. 20% off. Free shipping. From everywhere, from Coventry to Mozambique.
It's good, that.
Hey, welcome back to part 3 of 4 of this week's episode. And we are honoured to be joined in the studio by Russell Howard.
Hey, hello.
Thank you very much for being here, sir.
Thanks for having me. It's massive.
It's clear.
You're right,
Why would I
Russell.
not? Why would I not come to a massive podcast?
Thank you very much for coming in. We were talking just before, not to climb straight up inside your butthole just at the start of the episode, but as well as me and Dan both being comics, we're all huge fans of comedy and stand-up and TV comedy in general. And we were talking before about how many comics you introduced us to via Russell Howard's Good News.
Yeah.
Like in our sort of formative years and coming up like sort of early 20s and sort of late teens. The amount of people on, was it like the extra show where like you had like a stand-up guest?
So on a
at the end?
Saturday night, you could do like 15 minutes on the end of our show. And yeah, I think like Acaster, Romesh, Phil K. Phil K was my favourite because Phil K's I'm a massive fan of his. And I had to fight quite hard to get him on the show because you had to like send a script and then, you know, like lawyers would check the jokes and they kept saying like, he hasn't sent a script. And I said, it'll be fine. And he rocked up on the day with a load of fucking leaves in his hands like that. And even I was like going, oh man, like that. And he just went on stage and started throwing the leaves about and kind of started improvising about it. And you could just see the audience just losing their shit because they hadn't seen somebody be that kind of like vibrant and weird on stage. And I was sort of sat there like this genius that knew he was going to be great. But when he had twigs in his hands, it was a real moment. Do you know what I mean?
Producers looking at you like, are you sure?
If you see a comedian with mud under his fingernails, normally you're like, oh, Jesus. Like, it ain't going to go great. But it was really funny.
Class. Do you know the one I think I've watched the most? And I know you love these guys, and it goes back to sort of early podcasting as well. Do you remember when you had Ed Gamble and Peacock on as like a double act?
Yeah, I fucked that. That's the one mistake. So I basically, because Ian used to do the warm-up, we had this sort of pantomime thing where I said, don't laugh at anything Ian does, but only laugh at Ed. And then, you know, because we were mates, it was really funny in the room. But then on telly, it looks schizophrenic.
But I love it.
That was funny.
I think it added to it. I don't think that fucked it at all.
You don't think so?
No.
Let me tell you about the next week was fairly fucking awkward when I have to say to Ian, just get them up for me. Oh, really? I've got like the one fucking time I felt terrible. I felt really bad. But you think it worked?
I love it.
That's the one I remember the most. That's the one that sticks me the most is
probably because it felt like something was going wrong. And there's something really exciting when you go, this is happening.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's the exciting
also,
thing
it's
about
a double act. How many double acts do you see now? Especially like on telly?
You never
And
get
it's
that. You never
old-fashioned
get the
double act,
magic
isn't it?
live. Those magic moments live that all comics know and real comedy fans have seen, where it's definitely off script and it's something's happening.
Yeah.
It's so rarely captured.
Who's the really deadpan
in specials?
bald one?
Oh, Henry Packer.
Oh, Packer's amazing.
He was. I remember
Packer's
that
one of the greats, but just kind of has that, just not that interested.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think he wrote for Michael for a while. I think he does like cartoon books now, and you know.
I seen him at Hot Water Comedy Club, right? And they used to do this thing at Hot Water every Wednesday. I think it's still called this now, right? But when they launched their Wednesday night, it was called As Seen on TV.
Yeah, it's still
Right.
there.
So they had 4 comics who were like circuit comics doing new stuff who were unpaid, but they were trying to get like pro comics to do new stuff.
Yeah.
And then they would pay a headliner to do a minimum of 30 up to 45 minutes. Whatever they wanted to do, it was 30 every week.
Right.
And the only thing is to headline it and get, I think it was like 200 quid, but it was a Wednesday night. The rule was you have to have been on TV.
Right.
And in their head, they were like, and look, they're the most successful comedy club on the planet right now, but they were like, well, that'll sell us tickets. And they had Henry on, and his one credit on all the promo is Russell Howard's Good News. And there was maybe 70 people in the room, and it holds like 250. But he goes on, and he's doing well, and it's funny. And these 2 old fellas turned up like about 15 minutes in to his 30-minute set, and just sat right at the back in a room with like 70 people all packed to the front. They're right at the back. And he just improvised that they were like 2 big American like super agents who decide, we'll go and see Henry and give him his big break. And they walked into this room and it was genuinely magic. I can't believe how good he was. And yet I think that's his only TV thing was your show.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? But I know what you mean, Dan. It's those, what's odd as well is when you try and capture those moments, they always look a bit naff. I know the world is full of like crowd work stuff. Also, like, how fucking ridiculous is that? It's not work, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's called when we were kids, it was called banter. It was called riffing. And now it's work. It's not work to ask someone what they do and then imply that their mum's a whore. That's not work. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
There's no job in the world where you're
Paid some bills my end for a while.
Sure. but by your own admission, like you weren't sat down with a notepad before you went on. Ask a question. Do you know what I mean?
Who's got a mum?
Yeah. But that's not the hard bit of it. You know, the hard bit is writing the jokes.
So we can't expect a Russell Howard crowd work special.
I did it on the end, but it's just called, I think it's called, what did I call it? Off the cuff. Yeah, so it's just like 20 minutes of just sort of fanning about. But I used to do it loads when I was a kid, but the older I got with stand-up, I like stand-up so much. I like ideas. I like trying to formulate things. I don't really like, and when you watch it back, when you riff, it's never quite as good as a polished bit.
Yeah.
Do you know that for me? Anyway.
When I was first getting into it, I was bedazzled by the magic tricks.
Of course.
When I watched Ross Noble for the first time, and we've talked about this was the first show that you two went to see together, it's all like, wow, how is this happening?
Yeah.
And the older I get, I'm much more impressed by really well-written routines, perform properly, not when they're brand new, when they've been really like bedded in and worked out.
That's because you were a natural at improvising. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it came to you because we kind of came up around a similar time, and it was that thing of it was like we were both kind of able to just
have a little riff, have a little
conjure
play.
Something, and then but. It would always be better if we'd done that 6 times.
Oh, and
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
a camera's not forgiven as well, though. Like in the room, if you slur a word, but you still get the laugh, you forget you've slurred the word. As soon as it's on camera and you watch it back and you're saying like Philly instead of silly, you're like, oh, I can't possibly put that on the internet because everyone's going to call me Dan Nightingale for the rest of my life.
Mate, I did that once. I was doing when I was really young, I was on the Paul O'Grady show and Ross Kemp was guest hosting. And I said,
sorry.
Listen, no,
sorry, wait.
What have you just said?
That is Lorraine levels of bullshit.
Yeah.
It is a misspoken.
And I was next to Cilla Black. And I said...
You dreamt this, you know.
No,
this
mate,
is not real.
I said hyperbole instead of hyperbole. And Cilla was like, I think you mean hyperbole. And I went, what? And it's just that moment, like knowing that all my aunties and my nan was watching me, just go, he's a fucking idiot. So yeah,
slammed
Ross
by
Kemp
Cilla.
didn't notice.
No, it was weird. And Ross Kemp, he kept telling me that he was like, this is unusual for me. Do you know what I mean? I remember there's a bit where, and I might have made this up, but he looked at me and went, I just like swearing and stuff. I think that's what he said. You know, like, in that desperate attempt to kind of like be friends with like.
I believe that.
I would only book Ross Kemp to replace Paul O'Grady if he was going to do it as like with
Lily
wig.
Savage.
Yeah. That.
Yes,
then I'm into it.
that would have been amazing. That would have been the way of opening that show. And he's fully dressed up, and it's just him going, "Oh," and then it hits.
But if the bit, but if the bit doesn't work, that's a long afternoon's record. Like,
has that been done? Has that ever been done? A reluctant drag act. Do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause normally they're full of sort of, you know, they're bombastic, they're in control. But if someone's like, "This is a mistake," do you know what I mean? My balls are out. Like if. Like they were, that'd be fucking funny.
I think maybe Martin Lawrence in Big Mama's House. I reckon when he was pitched that, he might have been like, I'm not into this. And they're like, Martin, it's this film or you back to comedy clubs, mate.
Yeah.
I think he might have been slightly reluctant initially. I would love, right? I think about this all the time. I used to think about this with like car shares. You know, when you get like a car share of comics going to a gig and you all pull up at a service station and you all walk in together and it's like this island of misfit toys have all got out the same car. The odds, if you consider, forget you're in show business for a minute, but if you consider the lives and where you all started and how you've lived your lives, of Ross Kemp, you and Cilla Black,
mate,
all having the same reason to be in the same room,
mate,
it's absolutely incredible.
Well, and I remember having that. James Corden did a World Cup show, and I was the guest on one of the episodes, and it was Peter Jones from Dragon's Den, me, and Shakira. And it was like, but my thing, you know, it's just that thing where you go for us together. And it became apparent that Peter and Shakira, not really into football. Do you know what I mean? And
why were they booked for a... She was booked for the Waka Waka song.
She did the song, and he was just on telly at the time. And it was just me chatting about football, just boring the shit out of the two of them.
Oh, Shakira.
I had that. Like Tyson Fury came on my show and he was like, "Do you know J-Lo?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Oh, what the fuck am I here for?" I was like, "What? To talk about your life?" I don't what? Like that. And he was like, "Somebody told me you knew J-Lo. Give me your phone." I was like, so I kind of get my phone out and he's like, "There's nobody famous. Who the fuck?" Like that. And who's fucking Greg? Oh, it's my mate Greg. Does he know J-Lo? No one knows J-Lo, you fucking maniac.
He agreed to do your show because he thought you might know.
Somehow he thought that I was his gateway to Jennifer Lopez. But that thing, you've never been aware of someone being 6'7" until you're going, I don't know. Jennifer Lopez, you fucking lunatic.
I'm on speaking terms with Shakira.
Yeah. Exactly. I can get you Shakira. She's past her prime. But fuck, man, it's that. But you must find that where you find yourself like every so often just drifting into these strange worlds where you're like, I've just had I was on holiday. This is one of the craziest things that ever happened to me. I was in Australia with my wife and my son. My son had kicked a ball for the first time that day. It was really special. And we saw this guy walking just outside of our kind of porch in Bondi. And I said to my wife, I was like, "That's fucking Klopp." It was Jurgen Klopp, 20 metres away from our place in Bondi. So I fucking gun it, no shoes on, straight out. And it was Klopp. He was going for a walk with his missus. And I was like, and I kind of got sideways on. You know when you kind of like someone's pissed you off on the motorway and you sort of have to get to the same before you sort of like toughen up to go, "Yeah, it's a little old lady." Fuck you. Like, but if it's a big man, leave him. But I was like, I said, "Mr. Klopp, I'm a huge fan." He sort of span around and we sort of spoke about football for 5 minutes. And then he kind of waved at my son and wife. He was the greatest.
You were like, "It's just kicked the ball." I'll get to do it again.
I literally did. I told him, "He kicked the ball for the first time, Mr. Klopp."
Mr. Klopp, that's so cute.
Mate. And he kind of hugged me. And I sort of thanked him for, all the memories. It was fucking insane, man. It was fucking wild that you just, like, I just met, and just from nowhere. It was so lucky.
If like anyone's watching our show right now, and like there might be 1% of people out there who like don't know Russell Howard. They don't know who you are.
Yeah.
They're going to think you're on LSD.
Yes.
If they listen to the last 3 stories you've given us. Yeah, I was talking to Cilla Black and Ross Kemp about this thing. And then there was another time I was there with Shakira and Peter Jones and Tyson Fury.
But those just surreal moments where you just, you feel like kind of a bit bad because you're like, what the fuck has happened that has led to me?
We had one with Kevin Nolan.
Yeah, well, exactly.
That was a mad one, wasn't it? Well, me and Carl.
Kevin Nolan, the Bolton,
the former Bolton player.
He was at Newcastle at the time.
Yeah.
So, me and Carl, when we were.
You're Carl.
I am Carl.
That wasn't me being a dickhead. I was just trying to make sure.
We whenever we were drunk and we were in clubs,
you call out for Kevin Nolan. He's your Batman.
We do the Kevin Nolan dancing with women.
That was a celebration.
And
I know. Yeah.
And so we sort of, for some weird reason, ended up like idolising Bolton and Newcastle midfielder Kevin Nolan for no reason.
JJ Okocha was furious like that. You can't do a chicken dance.
But we were on a night out on a Monday night in an old Liverpool nightclub called Cube, where the drinks, it was 25p for a vodka Red Bull.
You get 2 quad vods for £2.
Right.
And you would go to another world.
And it was a Monday night. And we looked into the corner.
Did you have mud under your fingernails?
Very possibly, yeah.
Into the corner. And Dirk Cout and Andy Carroll were there on a night out. And then I said to Carl, I heard Andy Carroll was on a tag and his sponsor, to make sure he doesn't like misbehave, is Kevin Nolan. Because he just left Newcastle to come to Liverpool. And I went, imagine if Kevin Nolan turns up now because he's got to look after Andy Carroll. And 15 minutes later, Kevin Nolan turned up. And we thought we were in like a fever dream because we'd been chicken dancing for like 2 years at this point. And then on a Monday night where we're getting 25p vodka Red Bulls,
chicken dancing
he's
with
just
Kevin
in the corner babysitting Andy Carroll.
So does he change his animal? Does he go from like chicken to fox? Just to kind of like, you have to herd him back.
Yeah,
But he was a Newcastle player. and it was his job to look after Carroll.
So Liverpool had just beat Newcastle 5-0. I remember it.
Right.
They're best mates, aren't they?
Yeah,
Carroll
they're
and
best
Kevin
mates.
Owens,
But was he still playing though, or was
Yeah,
he?
yeah, he's still playing. Yeah.
Wow.
But he come down to basically gone. I'm gonna go on a night out. He's like, well, I've got to be there then.
Right.
Yeah,
Flipping
because he was a
hell,
bit
that's
of a.
I'd love to have been in the room when Tyson Fury's agent was convincing him to do your show, by the
Yeah.
way. We're like, why would I do that? He knows J-Lo. All right, I'll do it. It's done.
Yeah, but it was such a bizarre moment. Who's the weird one you've met then, Dan? Come on, as we're all doing stories.
Who's the
Strange, strange moment.
I feel like we have.
We used to do a feature called Celebrity Encounters, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny when you're in stand up because you get so used to being in and around comics and you learn that callous of like, yeah, they're just another comic on the bill.
Yeah.
It's, I remember being in a dressing room with you.
Oh, really?
And that felt like a dig.
Yeah.
I remember being in a
Back
dressing
when you were in dressing room.
and someone broke the code of being cool around the famous comic. And we were all sat around, and it was the headliner who was older than us. I think you'd come down to see Oliver
Right.
Compare, maybe.
Right.
It was in Bath.
The comedian. Yeah.
And we were all just sat around. Everyone's just playing it cool. At this point, you are household name. We're all circuit comics. And there's a real like, yeah, I came up with you. And
But
you've
we
got-
go way back.
Yeah. And everyone's probably gigged with each other before.
Yeah.
And the conversation is really chilled and really sound. And that's the rule. If you're a comic in a dressing room, don't be a gimp to the famous comic that's on. Just for that little moment, it's cool. And there was a pause, and he went, "This is the headline." He went, "Russell, am I all right to get a selfie?"
Oh, right, yeah.
And you were so nice about it. But there was this unbelievable few seconds where we all went, ooh.
And it's a
really?
small, it's a small dressing room, that one and all. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of an awkward little. It's a nice gig, but yeah,
Yeah.
not when it's like that.
I don't think I've got as many batshit like on a night out sort of. I haven't got a celebrity that's taken me back. Like
We've had a drink with Fat Man Scoop as well.
Oh,
Remember
hello.
that? In ink.
Rest
when
in
it was
peace.
Igloo. Rest in peace, indeed.
Yeah.
Have we?
Have you forgot that?
how have you forgotten Fat Man Scoop?
We had a drink with Fat Man Scoop.
You had a quick beer with Fat Man Scoop in like the back bit of Vink. Oh, it was Igloo. Before he went on to do a gig.
I think, do you know,
Insane.
I think I've been in Igloo. Is that like a nightclub?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was there on my mate's stag do. I'm pretty sure. And it's got like very small seats low to the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
changed
And
now
they're
to
fucking hard to get out of. So they're just kind of like, you just see everyone just go,
I mean,
just stay here.
Oh, Fat Man
Yeah,
Scoop was there.
Yeah. I bet he took a while to
He's
get
just
out
got
of
like
there.
PA.
He was still there when you were there.
exactly.
Fat Man Scoop.
I
was
had my
just there.
21st birthday there,
Oh, yeah.
and so they had like a little VIP bit upstairs, and there was like
On your 21st?
yeah.
Fucking
this
hell.
is my proudest moment, by the way.
So there was it fit like maybe like 50 people, and I'd booked the thing out for me 21st. I also used to work there,
Right.
so they'd like done it for free and like
Gotcha.
gave me some drinks and stuff.
Yeah, nice.
And do you remember the Liverpool midfielder Suso who went on to play for Sevilla?
Plays for AC Milan. He's a good player.
Yeah.
Left foot?
He turned up and was like, "Well, I'm Suso, so obviously I'm going into VIP."
Did he say it like that?
Kai.
Sort of.
So I went,
Suso.
hey mate, who are you? And he went, Suso. And I went, I couldn't give a fuck.
Carl's
Get
an
out.
Everton fan, so he kicked him out.
And he was, I told him like an hour later, and he was furious.
Fucking
It's
hell.
like, you can't be kicking Liverpool players on my 21st birthday. Maybe he's coming to give me a card or something.
Could have been Bezos with Suso.
Card. Just
got a
go.
picture
Think
with
about
him.
that. He's in Spain, Italy. Think of the holidays.
I still had the balls, by the way, after that, to go into the general area of it
Find him,
and ask him for a picture.
And then not let him back.
I wasn't letting him in. Fucking.
Nothing I can do, mate. He's
No.
grumpy.
Like a fucking Dubai prince. Just wandering down. Yeah.
You're a Liverpool fan, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Do you get to Anfield a lot? Are you in Liverpool a lot?
I should be, but yeah, I've got a season ticket there, and yeah, I used to go loads, but I haven't. I haven't been once this year. So my brother's been loads and pals of mine, but yeah, I haven't been since Slot took over. So I'm now worried to go this season in case when I go, it'll be
Your band, actually.
yeah, totally, yeah. And I would.
What game did I
absolutely-
take you to?
I lost them the league last year.
Palace.
They were flying.
He's been
all of a
asking me for
sudden.
5 years.
What game? Did you
Palace wasn't it?
When
Yeah.
Palace turned up and beat you 1-0, and I was like, that
I was at
Glasgow's
that game.
good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
fucking hell.
Absolute kiss of death. Shouldn't have put it on Instagram stories because I got fucking murdered
So
for it.
you'd never been to a game? Are you into football?
Yeah, I am into football. I've been to Anfield, but like back in I think I
70s, wasn't it?
it was the 1870s. They'd just been formed.
Who do you,
No, 1892.
who do you support? I imagine you were quite a good player. I imagine you sort of
Yeah,
No. Okay. fine.
you know. I'm a Watford fan. Yeah. Because I got into
My
football.
wife used to work at Watford General, which is overlooking the vicarage. Is that the
Vicarage Road.
Vicarage Road,
Yeah. So we picked a team just to be awkward. It was my mate's granddad's team, basically.
Right.
And then we wanted to follow a team. So it just felt like we were being cool. It was awkward.
When you went
but then his dad took us to a few games. So we used to go, instead of going to, we've been to Vicarage Road like 4 or 5 times, but we just went to all the away games that they were playing in the
nice.
Northwest.
Yeah, nice.
And I loved it. And it's stuck. I like it.
Makes sense.
I mean, we've won no Champions Leagues.
No,
Give you
but
that.
you want it's that amazing where Troy Deeney scores the winner.
Yeah,
it's one of the great games.
Oh, you got that. That's one of the best moments ever.
And I think I'd swap all 6 of our Champions Leagues for Elton John to be our owner.
Are you
genuinely.
fucking mental? I know this is a massive podcast and it's a joy to be here, but let's not talk silly. Fuck that. Elton John, Jesus.
When he bought the club, he was so involved. He was like, he used to sit on the
look
bench.
how that fucking worked out. You won nothing.
He'd do a job at Everton on the pitch. Like, no. I'd have him in centre mid, mate. Fuck him.
What have you been distracted by, Carl?
I'm just trying to find funny things to keep the,
So,
Jesus
There's a little-
Christ, that's very telling,
a
isn't
little
it?
peek behind the curtain.
Just looking.
No,
for
we're
funny.
doing my job.
we haven't mentioned this for a while in the last few episodes. We went through a bit of a phase. So Harry, our wonderful researcher who sat at the back, one of his roles within the podcast is in case like an episode we get someone on and the episode needs a bit of like, oh, we'll take it in this direction. He provides us with a research document.
Fuck. So is this going badly? I thought
No,
it was
no,
going
no,
well.
no, 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 no.
I was like,
I'm waiting for the next thread.
No, absolutely not at
Good.
all.
Phew.
What's happened here is your research sheet is so littered with funny, like little sentences in the way. Like, for example, he has played games with Jack Black in brackets on telly.
Yes.
What did you play with Jack Black?
I think whatever that kind of like.
Boxing.
Yeah, it's like a sort
Rock'em
of.
sock'em.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Just that. Apparently, he's mad into them. So we did this.
What's Rock'em and Sock'em?
It's like a little
The
game
2 little
where you-
robot punching.
and you've got to uppercut to win, and the egg comes on.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it was sort of like an 80s kind of. Remember? Do you remember like Super Cup football?
Yeah.
It's a bit like that.
It's a
where
proper
you're
cult game for
Yeah.
Americans.
Can I ask you then, how much time did you get to spend with Jack Black?
about 5 hours, just kind of hanging
Is he
out.
the best person on the planet like I think he is?
He's a lovely bloke, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
of all the sort of weird... It sounds like it's me talking about people I've met, but he was great. I did... It was him, then the next day, Jim Carrey, and that was a fucking experience, sort of hanging out with Jim
You
Carrey.
hung out with Jim Carrey.
Hung out for him, like, similar thing, interview, but he's definitely in that thing of, like, you know, you got to become the paintbrush, man. You know, like, like top-end sort of, like, intriguing psychobabble. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, what is a chair? Are you a chair? Am I a chair? No one's a chair. And I'm like looking at like a list of. So it says here you like pistachio ice cream. Like, do you know what I mean? And he's just in that kind of what
You
is.
got it wrong. I am pistachio
Yeah,
ice cream.
it was like that. So it was like trying to fucking have a conversation with a lava lamp because he just kept like moving and spinning. But just to sort of hang out with him was fun.
Did you not turn that off? Is
Well,
that only...
but again, you don't really know because I don't know. You meet some people. I think you read like if you ever watched that Comedy Store documentary that they had on Sky. He used to like hang out in the. He would open up a piano and just lie in it, and then stay there all day, and then kind of come out at night and went, "I told you I would," and then leave. So he's always been like kind of sort of peculiar and weird. So I think that's it.
He sounds like a bad pint.
Yeah. I think,
He sounds like...
fuck me, now that is a chat show. Bad pint. And you have one pint and it's really awkward with loads of strange people. Like next week on Bad Pint and it's just you and Farage and you're like, There's going to be no connection, is there? There absolutely isn't.
As much as I hate him,
He's a good pint, probably.
I think he might be a good pint.
Who's this?
Like Farage. I think if you can get over the fact that he's a gobshite, I don't think you're going to come away going, that was painful and weird. I
You
think
definitely
he'd
have
sort
stories. You definitely have
Yeah.
stories, eh? And I bet you he kind of drinks like, you see a squirrel. He's sort of like, because he must be so used to ashtrays coming towards him that he's kind of in that kind of,
Like Xavi, just
fucking just, yeah.
Like someone on their way to their first boxing training session.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing it.
And they're just analysing it, yeah. You know when like they do those things of like Xavi and he's always looking there. They just see Farage sort of in the pub like that.
Also,
He might be a good pint, but I think he might be a bad 6 pints. I reckon once you get him to 6 pints and he starts
no, I
spouting-
reckon he'll move over. I reckon he'll come more to the left. I reckon he'll start shifting and staying mad shit the other way.
you reckon it's
You think the more drunk Nigel Farage gets, the more progressive his views are.
But that's such a, if you don't mind me saying, that's such a scouse approach. Do you know what I mean? Of like, I can drink the good into him.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
we'll get him over.
He's all right. He just needs a fucking pint.
He
Come
just
on.
needs a few, just get a few down, he'll be all right.
He'll start slowly shifting. To the
Yeah.
left.
It's an interesting experiment, isn't it? Like, if you kind of, like, if you laced his, what's the ayahuasca? If you put a bit of ayahuasca in him and then he was shitting out his demons.
You ever done anything like that?
No, I love the idea of it.
love the idea of it.
I've done all the research. I've kind of asked people that have done it, and then just also now having a son, I just, you know what I mean? It's kind of, and I'm already, sort of famous. So if I'm wandering around wearing a cape with my cock out, that's yeah. He's like, Dad, like, so I think that's it.
When you like go to the forest and do it, ready?
Yeah, I think, but I'd sort of back my stamina to get out of the forest and like
Get home.
and like fuck a car or something, and then you're like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I just want to save the environment,
Do you know genuinely the reason I haven't done anything like that? Because I love the idea of it.
Of course.
Is I don't know anyone who's done it and then become more fun. Like they become more enlightened, don't they? They become more like, oh, listen, whatever. But no one's ever done it, and then I'm like, right, I now want to spend more time with you.
Well, see, that's the thing, isn't it? Because like it's an illness being a comedian, and there's times where it's not fun. But would you give up the mania that lingers in your brain?
You don't want to fix the illness
This is it.
because you might take away the funny.
Yeah, well, this is it. I had my friend of my wife's was got ADHD and did that diagnosis, and my wife was like, you should probably do that, and I did it, and it's so funny to me, like comedians talking about having ADHD, because it's just a bit like, yeah,
Should be given.
but it's a bit like a footballer going, I've got muscles in my legs. Yeah. Your brain doesn't work in a typical way. But and I was intrigued, and I kind of like, okay, I'll do it, and I did the test, and they were like, ding 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 ding, you've got it, and they kind of gave me these
Sounds like the doctor.
tablets. But they fucking right. But they give you these tablets, and
You actually went. You went.
yeah, sort of like out of like kind of like the end of COVID boredom, really, just something to do. It's like, okay, but thinking, okay, if I fix that, I'll be even better at the thing I love. And I did a gig, and I couldn't access myself, and I was like literally, I took them for 2 days. Was like, fuck that. Because
How was your day to day outside of the performative and the creative?
how is it?
No, but I mean, when you took them, were you like, God, I feel really level and I'm getting stuff done?
I can't even remember. All I can remember is that the gigs were shit, and it was just that thing of going, I'll have a slightly scruffy house. Do you know what I mean? And I'll leave things, but it's that thing of fixing. I don't know. Fixing imperfection seems a bit much sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what
Like
you
you
mean,
said, it's that thing with ayahuasca. It's like maybe when you're 60 and you've done all you want to do.
Yeah.
It feels an intriguing thing, but.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be tripping at the care home. That's
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
book me in for that.
Of course.
You're not allowed to wander off. It'll be great.
No, exactly.
He's got his cock out in a dressing gown. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's every Wednesday.
But also the great thing is, even if you can't move in your body, you can move in your mind. So you'll be kind of sat there in a wheelchair, and you're like, kind of like, well, joke's on you, I'm on a unicorn. Like that. And you're kind of going everywhere.
Sign me
I
up.
also love the idea that the man with his cock out in his dressing gown, by the way, every Wednesday, so he's conscious enough to know not to do it on Tuesday.
Cock out Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. Cock out Wednesday.
Bingo Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, they said 60 because that's not a million miles away. You're not doing it at 60.
No.
You said 60. He's nearly 60.
How old are you?
Yeah, me and Russell are the same
Yeah,
age, you fucker.
I'm 44, man. Yeah.
You're older than him.
I'm
Not in
younger
the
than him. I get honestly.
we were young
really-
guns. We were young guns. We used to do Lincoln University. We were compares. It was the greatest. That was the
Was
big-
Lincoln University? Sorry to be a dick. Was when you went through a break. I am being a bit of a dick. Was that the one where you'd just been through a breakup and you started doing press ups in the toilet?
Yes. Yeah.
Love it.
It's amazing the stories that get round. Fuck. Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah. In
That instant, like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And like Cochrane started calling me bench press after that because he thought, it was weird, eh?
So that's so bad.
But
if
in
you
the-
ask me anything about the gig at Lincoln Uni,
That's all you
I haven't
remember.
got any memories of
Yeah.
it, and I wasn't even at that gig.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's why Russell was doing press ups.
You said,
Yeah.
what's the chocolate milk gang?
The chocolate milk gang.
Because I know Cochrane was in there.
Yeah, it was a name. I think Jason Byrne gave it to. It was like all the comics that weren't big drinkers in Edinburgh around like the noughties, the beginning. I think it's like Kitson, John Oliver,
Kitson,
Josie, I reckon.
David O'Doherty.
Dave, yeah. But it was like, Pitcher, I guess. It was all the sort of non-drinkers. We used to go to Favourite, but ultimately it was just,
You weren't getting bladdered in the.
wasn't getting hammered. I only started drinking when I drank at university, and then I kind of really went for it, sort of stand-up wise. And because I was obsessed with Ross Noble and Kitson, it was like, to be a good comedian, you don't drink. And then I lived with John Richardson, and he spoke about alcohol in such a beguiling way. He would literally, like a fucking sorting hat, after his meal, he's like, which one of you am I going to? And he would like select it with such care that he would sort of, do you want some of this? And he kind of like gently drifted me towards booze.
Yeah, but he didn't like going out, did he? He just like
No,
getting
no.
plastered in like with really good booze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
but like
really-
in a controlled way.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, but so that was it really. We just never.
Are you a
drunk.
big drinker now?
Not a big drinker, but I don't drink at home, but I like going out.
Yeah.
And if I go out, I'll get drunk. So if I'm with my mates from uni or with my cousins, I love that. It's one of my favourite things. Like going out with my cousins. We didn't get to do it this Christmas, but we're going to do one halfway through January. But yeah, I love it. Like we call it the Great Swig, and like hanging out with my cousins around Christmas is one of my favourite things because they're like proper Bristolian fucking lunatics and that. I remember telling one of them a story. I got offered some money and this is fucking insane, to tweet happy birthday to Heathrow Airport. And it was like a lot of money. And I told him how much it was, and my cousin nearly beat the fuck out of me. And she's like, why didn't you do it? I'd have fucked the airport for that. And I was like trying to go, well, it's sort of artistic integrity, and just like that. And it was like, just say happy birthday, you fit cunt. It's a fucking airport. But it's nice to sort of spend time with like actually normal people, because everyone, all the comics that I'd spoken about, like I was offered this money to tweet happy birthday to Heathrow Airport, like, oh, good on you, just brilliant. That's correct. Nobody can buy you. And then real people were like, you fucking idiot. Do you know the life changing, So
I'd have tweeted it.
would you?
Yeah. You
I don't know.
mad.
It just didn't pass the red face test. It just felt like, I mean, listen, I got a kid now and a mortgage, so yeah, maybe. But I don't know. It felt so silly to kind of tweet happy birthday, like to an airport.
Because it is.
Yeah, but like for like a lot of dosh, you sort of think the world's fucking mental. And so you then think, God, there must be so many people existing in that ecosystem where they're kind of, blowing a kiss to Lush, or, do you know what I mean, telling John Lewis that they're bezies. And you think, God, they're earning more money than a doctor will. Fucking nuts. Do you know what I mean?
I love it.
I think all
I am
celebrities should.
for sale, by the way.
But
if Heathrow Airport are watching this, you let me know when your next big birthday's
Mate,
coming up.
it doesn't even have to be. I'll do it for Stansted. Blackpool Airport.
Did you see John
Come on,
Lennon?
raise your game. You can't do it.
I'll say happy birthday, John Lennon.
This week, John Lennon Airport did a boss tweet about Neil Maupay. Because Neil Maupay tweeted, did you see?
No, what was that?
Whenever I'm feeling down, I look at the Everton score and smile. We own Neil Maupay, by the way. He's still an Everton player and he's tweeting shit like that. And I can't remember what John Lennon Airport said, but they slammed them back.
Yeah.
And it's so cool for an airport Twitter to be like, fuck you. But yeah.
If
That's
football is
anyone
beefing with
more-
an airport.
Like, what is like?
he's a cock and he's shit, but it's funny.
But it's insane. But like, you get the impression he's so fucking mental that he probably like calls out his wife's sister's name when they're having sex just to see what it does.
Yeah, he just thinks
Do you know
he's
what I mean? Yeah, Belinda. Like that. God, he's such a fucking.
I love him, mate. I think it's dead funny.
Yeah, he's
He H's
Yeah.
because your fans abused him, so he's like,
He
I hate
scored
yous.
one goal in like 30
But you
games.
still pay him.
We loaned him out. I'm guessing the majority of his wages are going to get paid by wherever he's at.
Yeah, man.
Even if Everton is still paying him like £1 a week, the fact you're paying him anything for him to tweet stuff like that.
He's made it. He's a footballer. He doesn't give a fuck, does he? It's funny. But he is a cock.
Better when they do give a fuck, though, isn't it?
No, but I'm saying like he's tweeting stuff and being a shithouse, and
All right.
he doesn't care. Does
He's
he?
getting into arguments with
Where
airports.
does that phrase? I
quick
love
fits.
it. But shithousery. Where does that come from? What is the sort of like
I don't know.
the lineage of
What's the derivation of shithouse?
shithousery?
The etymology.
Do you know what I mean? It's what like it's one of them words.
Shithouse.
Well, I know
Yeah,
shit. Yeah,
shithouse.
shithouse rat.
Go on.
It just says from shit and house.
He's good on Google.
It says from shit hand.
AI is really taking over.
Yeah,
innit?
it's something from German.
from the German.
Shithouse.
Oh, shithouse.
the Scheisehausen.
Yeah.
Just say it like that.
That isn't the shithoots.
It's SCHITHUS.
The German language is fucking exquisite, isn't it?
So it's low German. So basically, calling someone a shithouse in Germany is like calling them low
Oh, I
stature.
see,
and
I see.
Their social.
Do you know the phrase they have for the end in Germany? I think it's Klappe zu Affe and it's impossible to do a German accent without being slightly camp. But the end is close the lid. The monkey is dead. Such a dark way of ending that. Exactly. Imagine that every film. The monkey's dead. Oh, I love it. There's a brilliant one for like it's called grief eating. Fuck, it's a brilliant word.
I know all about that, yeah.
But there's a specific German word that it's where you kind of munch on bacon after your heart's been broken, and it's something like I think it translates as grief eating, like that.
Kummerspeck.
Kummerspeck. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the translate?
Grief bacon.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Isn't it great? Grief bacon.
What's the
What a
Dutch
fucking
one?
superhero that is. Do you know what I mean? It's
The
just
Dutch
everyone
one
else.
that you're thinking of, spank me daddy, is give me un clap papa.
Is that right? And then when you finish the spanking, kill the monkey. Yeah. Fucking right. Hilarious.
Give me un clap papa, the monkey is dead.
If you spend much time in Germany, it's such an interesting place. Gigging there as well. It's brilliant.
I haven't gigged there. Been to Berlin a couple of times. I'd like to go back. I want to go to Munich and do Oktoberfest.
Oh yeah. It's one of them things. It looks phenomenal.
Who are you
Yeah.
gigging to in Germany? Obviously,
Germans.
It's and that's the end of this section. The monkey's dead.
But it's the funny thing about it is you think it's going to be sort of expats, but it's not. It's sort of like they very similar kind of people that first came to watch me in the UK. It feels like that they've just found like this English comedian they kind of like, and it's like I don't know, you're in like an 800 seater in Berlin and they're all kind of listening to you in their second language. It's fucking incredible, man.
Delay on the laugh, or are they getting it in?
Slight
As they
a slight
translate.
delay,
Yeah.
like a slight but there's a lot of that where they're kind of like trying to, and you don't realize. So I said I was going to nick a cow, and they were like, but because they didn't think steal, they thought stab. So then this whole kind of routine was like completely lost because they thought halfway through it I just
Yeah.
stabbed a cow.
Why is he stabbing
yeah,
cows?
Yeah, so they were like,
I mean, steal one. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's good fun.
but it was it's really, you just end up learning so much about yourself by kind of gigging there and just wonder. I remember seeing a sign in Berlin for like luxury bondage gear. Do you know what I mean? And it was just called luxury bondage gear. That was the name of the shop.
Surely all of that's luxury.
Yeah, or
It's never
surely-
necessity, is it?
But call it Pimp My Gimp if you do. but so you think, because I was thinking, so I don't know a lot about bondage. I'm not sure if you're a fan, but it's that, like, why would you put diamonds on a thing that you're going to whack against somebody?
Oh, that kind of luxury.
Yeah, that's what I thought it meant. Like, what did you think it meant?
I just thought like better made.
Oh, I see.
Like
So there's
really
more
good.
Oh, I see.
Like if I said
Wow.
to you, I've got a luxury sofa, you're not thinking of a diamond sofa, are you? You're just thinking of like good leather.
And it could be. It depends how.
It's an interesting. Yeah, I completely. So you're looking at the durability of the butt plug rather than the shininess.
Just buy cheap, buy twice.
Yeah.
That's
Russell,
what
we
they say, you know.
have more butt plugs and dildos in this room than you've ever been near.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're sponsored by Love Honey.
Are you?
Yeah.
Which is luxury. I mean, there isn't a Rolex like sewn into a dildo or anything, but it's still pretty nice.
What do they send you any of the kind of what was that? What was that? The drop? Oh, was that one of them? No. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Oh, so a draft excluder.
It will exclude draft.
What was the? Did they come to you? Did you court them?
It was Sarah Keyworth, wasn't it? Remember?
Right.
Sarah
yeah.
Keyworth was the guest, and we were talking about these, and then we were like, "That's fun. We'll order one."
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard. Lesbians, which was what Sarah identified as at the time.
Yeah.
Lesbians, they love a dildo.
Right.
So we went on dildos.com or whatever and ordered a dildo.
For her.
No,
It was for us. It was a custom one.
We've still got it. The red and black.
It was
one.
the podcast colours.
Right. Nice.
And then Love Honey went, "Oh, we sell them," and since then we've been like,
They're a great sponsor.
A
It's
huge
worked
sponsor
out
for
great.
us, yeah.
Loved it.
Do you have to do adverts for them and that?
They do, Russell.
Dan's actually been a reluctant transvestite a couple of times, actually.
"Russell is a one-arm mannequin with its tits out over there."
I didn't know what that was. I just thought, okay, that's so
It's
interesting.
empowering.
Yeah, it looks it.
Art.
I think we've introduced a lot of people, especially men, to sex toys going, "Hey, they're just normal, you know." And they go, "Okay, yeah."
That should be the catchphrase. They're just normal, you know. But it feels for me.
Stick it somewhere. It'd be sound.
But it feels a
Get
bit like.
sex toys, get on them.
But you know when you go bowling and you put the sort of like lanes up.
Yeah.
Anyone can get a strike.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It just feels like without a sex toy, you've got the strike. Whereas with that, you're like clink clank.
Or you haven't got the strike.
Well,
We were talking about this. Dan fucked his wife last night, but she didn't come.
Cool. Well,
why are you talking about this?
yeah. Good question. Russell, good question. Because I sillily mentioned something loosely around that before we recorded.
Yeah.
And Adam, he's a pro broadcaster. So he paused and started the episode with, "Fucking hell, lad, what were you doing last night?" It's good fun, isn't it? It's good fun. It's going very well.
Yeah.
And my wife is a Patreon of the podcast.
Yeah.
Love you, darling. So sorry.
But that's all right. But it's New Year's.
The monkey's dead.
Yeah. Imagine that you just hear just this perishing gibbon.
That's such a little flourish. I used to love those flourishes. The perishing gibbon. Right, let's have a break and we will be back. Hello, everyone. Time to tell you about my favourite sponsor. It's Manual with their testosterone replacement therapy service. Today, we're going to show you how to use their at-home blood test kit to find out if you've got low testosterone. If you have, they can recommend a treatment plan to help you get back to a normal, healthy level. 1 in 4 men suffer from low testosterone, and 90% of men go undiagnosed. Let's get that sorted. Remove the cap from your blood collection vial. Just put it to the side. You're going to need it in a second. And twist the cap off the lancet to open it. Be a big brave boy. Place the lancet on a right angle to the side of your chosen finger. You'll hear a click if you push it in firmly. Little bit of blood. You wipe away that with a tissue. And then you've got to get your blood in the vial. So just massage that finger. Now this is key. Replace the blood collection vial cap. An audible click will be heard when it's secure. Once secure, gently invert the blood collection vial 10 times. You stick your label on. You've already securely applied your Track 24 return label to the outside of the envelope. You bang it all together. Discard any used and unused items responsibly. You bang it in the post. And then you get your results. For 45% off your at-home blood test kit, use code WORD45. 45% off. Give it a try. Manual TRT. Could improve everything.
Hey. 4 out of 4.
Russell, we'd love doing that little bit of accountancy. Russell, you've got a special coming out.
What was the accountancy?
Are we just for the people with a bit of OCD, just let them know which section out of how many we're doing.
Oh, I see. What section are we on now?
We're
4
4, my love.
Final quarter.
You've got a special coming out.
I do. January the 15th. It's quite exciting because it's the first time I've done it from my website. So I kind of paid for it. And then we're kind of selling it, and it's going to be on at 8 o'clock in England, and then 8 o'clock in New York, and then 8 o'clock in Australia, which is like
Wherever you are, 8 p.m.
and 9 o'clock in Europe.
Oh, well, there we go. Russell-howard.co.uk, self-funded, self-released stand-up special, and we're all about that here, as you know.
What's it called?
It's called Russell Howard Live at the Palladium.
And where did you film it?
Yeah, sort of. I kind of had a few. I don't know. It's weird. I had titles for it in my head, and then none of them quite. You know what it's like.
No one has ever. No one in the crowd is like, "What's it called?" Though they're there to see you.
Thing. Yeah. It's sort of. I often think of someone like Bill Burr. Bill Burr does a stand-up show. You know, it's never like, apricots or kind of like The Quest. It's just Bill Burr Live 2025. And you kind of go, yep, you'll go and see him. It'll be new stuff. So that's kind of the approach that I'm doing now. Because I don't do TV anymore. I just do stand-up and my podcast, which Adam was a guest. You're more than welcome to come on.
I'd love
you to
mate.
come on. And
You'd be really good on that as well.
It's fun,
Really
man.
good format. I really loved it.
But it's, so it kind of makes sense really just to do it all yourself. Yeah.
So this is, you're done with TV. You just want the control.
Yeah, I just I had a pretty good run, and I just prefer doing stand up. And it's kind of, it's nice to be an actual proper. I did like 300 gigs on the tour, so it was properly kicking it into shape. Like that was all over the world, and it's just fun. Isn't
I
it?
got to stop bitching about tours. When you're like, we've spoken to Sloss and like, the people are like,
was
I
over-
did 300. How many did you do? 44.
Yeah.
But I did Ireland as well.
Yeah, but that was over like 18 months, and sort of one of the maddest bits. We did 35 gigs in 33 days in America, and that was too much. And that was on like a tour bus, and the idea of it was amazing. We had a driver called Cadillac Jack, and he used to drive for Steve Martin, and God, he was incredible. But then as a consequence, you end up staying up late with Cadillac Jack, listening to his stories, and then you rock up to like Minneapolis and you're knackered, and the audience doesn't really care. But you're like, well, he was telling stories about going to like Saturday Night Live. And so, it's, so that's it really. And it's so weird, isn't it? 'Cause like, I hope people love stand-up specials. I love making them.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, we live in a world now where everything is about, an 8-second clip or a 20-second clip. And I like those as well. But there is something really satisfying about trying to make your Arizona Bay, and whatever your kind of hour is. And I think that's is that more dildos? But I think that's what propels all of us forward, is that thing of going, I think there's a great hour in me. And I still haven't lost that. That's what I like the most. Do you know what I mean? And clearly you're into it. It's that thing of putting together a show and then finishing it and then putting it out there. I think that's what I'll do.
For me.
And then starting again.
Yeah, but I think I was almost going to call the next tour Lifer, because that's what I kind of feel like, there's nothing else I would rather do. But there's something about, doing the Palladium, doing arenas, doing all these things, and then being back at Top Secret. And I don't even get to go in through the front. I have to go through the back because I'm, known, and it'll make it slightly awkward. So I'm literally, the smell of piss is the beginning of every tour that I'm in the car park by the bins. And I've pissed in so many kind of like cups and then thrown the piss in a bin. And then 5 minutes later, you're there doing stand-up for the first time.
It starts there, ends at
but
the
it
Palladium.
does. But there's something about that is, like we were saying just before we started, it's the beginnings of stuff, and it's not even that's a bit. It's, I think there's something in that, and that's the thing that just gets you going. I bet.
It makes you giddy.
But I was talking to Billy Connolly about it, and it's like when you lose that, fuck, I tell you what, there's something in that. Whether you've done a gig in front of 50 or 15,000, that's kind of what gets you going. When you sort of happen upon something. I love it. And also, there's nothing else, like TV is fun, but it's not as fun. Writing a book, I couldn't do because I don't want to sit and entertain myself. But doing stand-up is what I love doing,
With
particularly traveling.
no one coming in as well with
Well,
that,
there's no-
with that idea where you go, think there's something in that. You don't
Yeah.
ever have anyone else go, yeah, we don't think there's anything in that. You just get to go, I'm backing myself and it's mine and I'll put it on the stage.
And it's not entertainment through committee. It's just like, it's your dictatorship. And then you have this idea, and then you got to be honest, because the audience are like this brilliant jury that they let you know through laughter whether it works or not. And you can kind of keep on going with a bit, but you've just got to be honest. Sometimes you go, that's the end of that.
I was
That
wrong.
isn't- Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard, isn't it, when you're like, I was sure that was a bit, and you're
Yeah.
like 12 tries in, they're not
And then
going.
what's really funny is when you have a new tour and then you go back to that old bit and you're like, right, let's see if we can get it going. And sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
Dust it off.
But I think that's being a comedian. It's basically, we've got our own version of like Wordle or Sudoku. That's what jokes are, that they're your own little comedic homework, that you're kind of like, there's something so funny in this that I think's funny. And visually, I thought it was hilarious. And now I have to find the right words to convince strangers of what's in my head.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what stand-up is.
And one of the most satisfying things I think ever is when you have tried it 3 or 4 times and you still are convinced it's there, but it isn't working yet. When on try 5, 6 or 7, it goes from not working to, we sort of get what you mean. When you find the fucking vernacular for it to fucking land,
You just
and you come
unlock
off
it.
and you're like you could come off to the worst news and you spend the rest of that night going, but I got that fucking thing to work finally.
Yeah, totally.
I'm so excited to start again now. I had a couple of months there after my tour where I was a bit like, I've got nothing coming through me and I've got no sort of energy to start again yet. And it's properly come back in the past week.
Yeah, I tried a new bit on New Year's Eve.
Oh, good for you.
That's when you're starting to get the like, oh, and don't get me wrong, it was the worst bit of the set, but it didn't die. And I literally WhatsApped my wife going, fucking new bit. I tried a new bit. And it's that excitement. Oh, maybe it'll never be
But
a
it's
bit.
funny, innit? It's like when
you were turned off by comedy
When?
at the last month. You were a bit like, I'm a bit.
About a month ago, yeah, I was just a bit like...
Doesn't take much to like.
But I've
No.
never seen him not be like in love with it.
Do you know what it was? So the first 2 weeks of December, I did my usual Christmas run at Hot Water. And the reason I booked that in, so my tour finished, the UK tour finished May, and I had some Australia dates to do for the first time, sort of the first week of September. In my head, I was like, right, well, the first 2 weeks of December, I'll do Hot Water for the Christmas run, and I'll have a new 20 minutes by the end of that, or at least like the idea of one. And I got to the end of the run and had maybe one new bit, which was about like 2 or 3 minutes long. And the rest, I was just doing stuff that wasn't in my last tour, but was quite old to sort of pad it out. And I got to the end of that run and I was just like, that feels like a waste of 2 weeks. Yeah, I've earned some money and whatever, but I was like, it just feels like I haven't really got what I was supposed to get out of that. And that felt like I'd been a bit lazy and not been arsed enough. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'm just a bit meh. But then recently I've just, like the last week or two, I've just like found a couple of things. And genuinely, watching Rob Mulholland on New Year's Eve. So one of our mates, Rob, I'm not sure you know Rob.
I
but
don't know him, no.
we ran an event on New Year's Eve and we had an hour where we had some stand-up in it. And Rob Mulholland, who's, he's been a great circuit comic for a while, and he's now got a podcast that's doing well and is starting to sell a few tickets himself. But when you just watch someone do really well with really good stuff, and it was quite a bad room for comedy. Even though we'd set it up, it just it wasn't quite the right setting for it. We were running a party that we were starting with stand-up, and the PA system wasn't perfect, and there was a couple of things we needed to iron out that just didn't work perfectly. So he went on to an environment that was playable, but not perfect by any means. And he absolutely nailed it with really good, interesting stuff. And I just watched him do it, and I was like, yeah, that's excited me again. Do you know what I mean?
But I think that's what needs to happen, though, isn't it? And you just go through those phases. Also, you're competing with yourself now. So the more stuff you do, you kind of, you also, when you're doing the Christmas run, you don't want to be shit. Whereas previously you might have thought, it's fine, it doesn't matter. Whereas now you feel this sense of like, you have to follow yourself from last Christmas and how good you were for them. So you can't be, you just need to find those spaces where you can fail. That's the
And you're
key.
also following club comics who are doing their
Totally.
best 20 and tearing it apart, and then you've got to close it, and
But
you've
you've
got to
just got to shut the ego down. So,
Yeah.
like, and when I say you, I mean the royal us. That's the hardest thing, isn't it? Where you just have to let those bits go and just be like, fine.
Yeah.
And then a month later, you're back. But
Yeah.
it's that
And
month where you're
I
like,
think I think I'm quite good at doing that on a Wednesday night in February.
yeah, not
But
in
like-
December. When
Dude,
it's
like
over- yeah.
Saturday in December, following Jamie Hutchinson in the middle. I'm just like, right, the lazy eye stuff. Here we go.
Oh yeah, I've been there. Jesus. What was your new bit, Dan? What was the bit you were excited about without giving it away?
I did a couple, and it was one of those bits where you think you've got a really good setup, and then you go, that's a decent setup, but it gets me to this hilarious, the contrast bit where you're like, on the other hand,
Yeah.
and my contrast bit was the biggest pile of shite. I was convinced it was like they'd go, oh, that's pretty good. Whoa, what a payoff! And what the crowd did was go, this is great, I'm in. And then I tried to give them the payoff, and they were like, nah, that bit's rubbish. But it was enough to be like, oh, there's funny in there, and that
Yeah.
I take that all day. I want this year to be about me turning over new stuff, getting really club fit for then to tour at the end of 26. And that's all about being on stage and having the balls to go, just fucking say it.
Yep.
Just say it. And there was this pause because they'd laughed at my second bit. And no one in the crowd would be able to pick up on this. But it was just a millisecond pause where I had to go, just fucking say it, you big wuss. Like, just try the new bit.
Yeah.
And just to take away even a 7 out of 10 reaction from it.
But I often think that as well. Sometimes, like, by making mistakes, you can then make you. We're all now funny enough to get ourselves out of it. So, particularly if you're gigging abroad, you just go bloop with what you've seen that day, and even if it's not funny, you will then be funny about the fact it wasn't funny. Do you know what I mean? And then you sort of
You can use that trick a couple of times, and after that, you're like, the crowd
but
are
you
going to be
get
like,
into that. But then it becomes that. I don't know. It's sort of because they realise it's happening now. That you're so in the moment because you're like, well, that was fucking gash. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, oh my God, he's acknowledging it was gash. It must, you know what I mean? And then
I think there's a hard thing about when we're really in the fucking technicalities of it. If you're doing,
if you're
doing
listening to
half
this,
an hour of stuff and it's killer, and you have a new bit, that doesn't fit many places because it's like you're trying to build a fucking 3-bedroom house surrounded by skyscrapers. It looks out of place. Whereas if you just go, I've got about 15, 20 minutes of new stuff, and you stumble through it all looks like fucking semi-detached houses, and it sort of makes a bit more sense.
Yes.
Like, that's what
Freddie Quinn had been made up with that analogy, by the way.
That was a good
Class.
One. That was a good one.
You're right. I often, I've only ever done it with like babies, where you're sort of showing people babies and then they stamp on that baby. But yours is far more sort of, far more PG. My thing is, I remember saying this at a gig and going, and I've just shown you babies and you've said no to those babies. Some of the babies have worked. They're backstage in showbiz. They'll be doing coke, those babies. But some of those babies that you killed, you probably think I'm going to leave those dead babies here. I won't. I'll put those babies in a suitcase and I will take those dead babies to another gig, and those babies will become men, and you will remove it. And then it's sort of, but do you know what I mean? It's that thing of, but then the problem is the audience are going, so what? You've said the other things before, which people, do you know what I mean? Like, even though obviously we have, there's still this belief in stand-up that it is this sort of stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
That it's all coming from your own head. I always think January is quite exciting because we have an enforced break, and then you all come back with your own little things that might have happened at Christmas or things you've noticed. And
you get to play to people who are actually there because they want to watch stand-up rather than they're on a works do or something.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's exciting.
I love geeking out about stand-up.
And they love
I know,
as well.
yeah.
No, our listeners are big comedy fans.
Oh,
They
great.
want to hear
Few.
that.
Yeah. Shall we do some executive orders, ladies and gents?
Let's do it.
Finn, could you
That's a gavel, nice.
order? So the all-powerful executive order. If you were a president of the world, is loosely what we're sort of saying.
Yes.
And you've got the executive order, Russell. If you've got any chip in at any point, Finn wasn't here when we basically got this rolling.
Well, you know.
I wasn't here, but I edited it.
You were
and I was
missed that day, actually.
Was I? Thank you.
When
I
was
think
it?
you said on the episode I wasn't, and you hadn't noticed I wasn't there. But, other than that,
Very possible.
But yeah, when I was editing, I was making notes. I was like, oh, this is good. This is, you know what? This podcast is quite good. And I was making notes of some executive orders I had. My first one is that there should be someone hired as a BB gun sniper in every cinema to stop talking. So if you talk above a certain level,
Whoa.
there's a BB sniper
Change
just
it to
aimed
bullets.
at your head.
Yeah, I mean, you are familiar with what happened during the screening of
Batman.
Batman.
I haven't thought about that till just now.
Just a hardline film.
I think that's more they were surprised that happened, whereas they'll know the BB guns coming if they
but
talk.
a BB gun couldn't kill.
No, but
No.
like, ow, it would annoy you enough
see,
to
I see.
shut up.
BB gun or a Nerf gun?
Can we
gun.
temper it? Can we? Because then it's fun for everybody. Just sort of like a far-reaching taser. Is that right?
Is that softer, is it, than a BB gun?
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs. No, but a taser. Whenever I've never seen somebody take. I've seen a lot on the internet, and they all mean something to me. So I think if you were really annoyed by somebody and you're like that, I think.
Oh,
that
you're
would-
handing them out to the people in the cinema.
Yeah, the
I think that's
ushers.
going to be the ushers.
Yeah.
Don't give me a taser in the cinema.
No, I
But
think
with every like Batman ticket, you got a taser gun
a
then.
little old lady called Beryl. We give her a taser. She knows the code of the road. And if somebody's kind of mouthing off or giving someone a hand job, like that.
That make the hand job better.
Yeah,
surely?
they come quick.
Yeah. Well, yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, is that a love honey thing?
I think every cinema seat should just be electrified. Let's just cut out Beryl.
Nice.
Everything's got a little shocker. So if you're being a bellend
Yeah.
and it's been noticed by enough,
Someone presses B5,
just that,
and then bam.
yeah, just to shut them up.
Yeah, and then
can
if-
I just say this cannot be in place for PGs and below?
Yes, it can.
Because you're electrocuting fucking 8-year-olds.
them.
Yeah,
but
they're the loudest people.
Well, you have different ways of psychologically affecting them. So then you'll like strap them to the seat again, press the button strap, and there might be a photo of their favourite teddy bear sort
On
of
fire.
being attacked. Yeah,
Great.
exactly.
All right, cool. All my fears have been allayed. No, thank you for that, Russell.
How's it like? We've got your mummy. That kind of stuff.
It's kids club on a Saturday morning. They're all
5
crying
and
again.
below, it whispers that Father Christmas isn't real. So then the parents keep them quiet.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, or it's going to fuck.
Or if that doesn't work, we get somebody who looks like Father Christmas and we make it look like he's been shot in the head. Yeah, exactly. Like, and then just you did that, and then back to the film.
He's dead because of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay there.
Yeah, exactly.
Get Winnie the Pooh back on.
Can I ask you, Finn?
Go on.
Let's say we go with Dan's one. It's the
Yeah.
electric chair.
Yeah.
Whoa. Just a little buzz.
A buzzy chair.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So what distractions get you shocked? Talking?
I think maybe there's like a decibel meter on your seat.
No,
And
it's
you
laughter.
yeah.
Yeah.
The trouble is though,
What was that? What are you doing in the cinema?
If
Woo.
you've just seen The Usual Suspects and you realise Kevin Spacey's guys associate
Whoa, spoilers!
spoilers, you go, whoa, you can't get shocked. It's part of
if
the-
someone's going,
dead people. Like, also,
What about
if you,
people who are into it, though?
what if you've got Tourette's? That's really unfair.
They request a special seat.
That's fair enough.
It's not special in any other way, it just
Yeah.
doesn't buzz.
Yeah, fine.
It's
fine.
the non-special seat. They're all special. They're all electrocuted.
We spoke about people with Tourette's going to the cinema recently on the podcast and like sort of the problems around that. And I got a message from the mother of a Tourette sufferer who was not best pleased with my attitude towards it.
Okay.
So I apologise. What
Change his mind, though.
I believe that. I don't know if you guys. It was sincere.
Being on your phone is one.
yeah.
You don't need
Yeah.
to be on your phone. 'cause
What
you sit
about
after the
what
match.
if you're on the back row getting a hand job, a really quiet hand job?
You wouldn't know.
It's
if
a
it was
loud
quiet-
hand job.
Well, that's the thing.
But you'd have to be so like, you'd be sat there watching the film. It would have to be like, Quiet Place or something like that. But if it was sort of like, if you hear someone getting beat off during a Jason Statham film, then that's loud.
There's also
have
a
you
rate
seen
on that.
Have you seen the Meg? Oh, it's one of my best moments this
Big,
Christmas.
big shark.
Oh my God, there's a line in it.
Sorry,
That's the alternate title.
The big shark.
It's-
It's the Chinese version.
It's a bit. There's a bit in it where this big shark is coming towards him, and Jason Statham looks at him and goes, "Come on in, you bastard!" like that. And it's like, how's that been made? Like, honestly, how has he said that with a straight face? And then he beats up this big shark. Fuck it,
Have you seen the Chinese poster for the first Die Hard film?
No.
So the whole thing is written in Chinese, apart from the title and the tagline. And the title of Die Hard in China was Reluctant Hero, and the tagline is a reluctant hero saves the day, but he has no shoes. That's on the poster. Put that in here.
I
love
think
that.
Cinema etiquette should be the top of the mandate for the. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I see that.
We'll give you that one.
Okay. is that
Can
good in?
I add one?
Go on.
Yeah.
I think Sweet Caroline and Mr. Brightside should be banned in public places.
That's going to be tough for the Killers and
Neil Diamond.
I'm
for
sure
Diamond.
they
Can you do it at Killers gigs? Can they still sing it?
That's the only place you can do it.
So the only person who can sing Mr. Brightside in public is Brandon Flowers.
Yeah,
It's so hard though, because as soon as you put that law into place, like in my head now, all I want to do is sing Sweet Caroline. So you can't, like, if you did that in like
take
that,
it on the ground.
But if you did that in the House of Commons, we will no longer be saying Sweet Caroline. Like, it's like that bit in Phoenix Nights. Do you know what I mean? Take my breath away. You know what I mean?
My favourite.
But it'll
Walking
be
on
like
the
that.
moon.
You can't.
I'd add Wonderwall to that.
Okay.
No, it's
Or
not
the
sang-
entire Oasis back catalogue. How
No,
about
not that one.
Wonderwall's not sang as much as like Mr. Brightside and Sweet Caroline by big knobhead groups. Is it?
I don't
Did you,
know.
by the way, did you say it would take it underground?
Yeah.
So
Underground
there'd be
Neil
little
Diamond
underground clubs where it's just constantly groups singing Mr. Brightside and
Yeah.
Sweet Caroline.
Neil Diamond Club.
That's where the revolution begins. Ba, ba, ba.
It's just painful. Get some new
Imagine
ones.
that, them having to whisper it in the sewers. and then it just gradually billows up. And then people are walking and they just hear just under the vents.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
What songs do you like that are like end of question? What songs do you like that like are iconic like those ones?
Have you heard the Happy song?
Who by?
So basically, this is a song by Imogen Heap, and apparently it's been scientifically designed because it's all the noises within a song that calm babies down. And I thought it was absolute nonsense, but by God, it works. But as soon as you hear it, it will stay in your head forever. It's called the Happy song.
I don't think I
used
want to listen to this.
Do you want to hear it? Would you like it?
Is it
We-
copywritten?
We're going to get struck on that.
Or will you
We'll
get
struck.
You'll get struck.
We'll listen to it after.
Well, if it helps, I know Imogen Heap, so it should be fine. Whoa. No, it basically, it feels like it's going to be awful, but if your child is screaming in the back of a car and that helps you.
Do you know what also works as well? And I've seen videos of this. Throwing a slice
ham.
of cheese on them.
Or
you know,
ham. Make a butty out of it if you want cheese and ham.
Yeah, but that will. I think as far as getting your kids taken away, I think if you play a song or you sort of treat them like a burger, then it's definitely better.
But yeah, if you slap like something on the head.
If you put a slice of cold cheese on them, they just
Yeah.
stop crying.
Yeah, it definitely works, and they're also scared of you and dairy for life. Fucking
It works if you
maniacs.
put a cucumber next to a cat as well.
What?
What?
Yeah. Cats are terrified of cucumbers and they don't like
I've
to
seen
be
the
I've heard
videos.
that.
They react like there's
If you
a
put a cucumber behind the cat and it
10-foot
turns round,
python.
it will shit its pants.
But again, it's sort of how did that?
What kind of cat's
how
got
did that
pants?
come about?
This
Do you know what I mean? Like, who was making a salad and thought, I fucking hate felines like that, and they're like, "Ugh," like that, and the cat's like, all right, yeah, like fucking wild that's been found out, isn't
TikTok cat cucumbers, you'll have a lovely little laugh.
The world that felt like you were the heir apparent to Beadle. Then that was so great.
I'm being bought by Big Cucumber.
Have you got any executive orders, Russell?
So most of mine are the big thing for me is it's not really an executive order. It's just a plea from humanity to science. Because we've got a thing called a rocket on your pram that sort of shakes the pram so that your baby kind of goes to sleep. There's also a sheep that emits white noise so that your baby goes to sleep. But there is nothing as yet designed other than sniffing your baby's arse to see whether it shit itself. So if somebody could invent that, because the amount of times I've had to spoil a day or indeed a meal and just pick up my son and go, yeah, that shit. But it feels like there should be something, but a little sort of turdometer that you could just hold up to it and it just blip, 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 blue. like that, so you know. But just the whole kind of the sniffing and the kind of, do you know what I mean? You're like a fucking sommelier.
And they don't even pull a different face. They never tell you. I know they can't speak yet.
We had that, like, when we were doing like NCT, like, you sort of bump into parents that know everything, and there were people going, we're not going to have nappies. We're like, and like, well, we fucking are. We got carpets. Are you mental? But they were going, oh, you can tell the face that your baby will pull. Like, well, how? Like, I don't know how you were raised, but my dad never kind of like, just come in here. Just look at me. There you go. Like that. Like, I love my son, but I don't want to sit around and analyse his shit face. So that if I could do something that does that.
Jamie Carragher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Just pause it like there. He's poo in his pants.
I have Cara and Neville, just like that.
Colour changing nappies, maybe? On
So
the
yeah.
outside? Colour changing nappies.
Well, you have that thing. You have like a blue that will tell you whether
They
it's,
already have that for
whether
piss.
it's
just piss.
just piss, but there's nothing for poo. So there is nothing beyond that kind of.
Maybe a little window.
That's a great idea. A see-through window.
What could possibly go wrong with a window on a nappy?
You can't open it. It's just a bit see-through.
It's a bad look. Listen, if you go on Dragon's Den and you're like, right, what I need, I need easy access to a baby's ass, and I need it now. Like it's.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that.
It's a bad look.
The problem with these nappies
No, I don't want to see his cock. I want to see his poo.
It's not an openable window. It's just a clear bit.
It's not from the front. It's not from the front. I'm not weird. It's just from the back.
Arseless chap for the baby. No.
Yeah.
Just so you can have a little peek.
But that's
They've
not.
got to be able to do the piss thing now.
The piss
They've
exists.
done it.
The piss thing they do, but the poo.
No, but I mean, they've got to be able to do that for poo.
Yeah.
There's got to be, like, poo and piss aren't that different.
Come on,
There's got to be
Pampers.
some sort of test.
Yeah, come on, Pampers, raise your game.
Can you not
Chris,
smell it from a distance? No.
what? Yeah, from
Like if
3
you
streets
poo-
away.
Like if I'd pooed myself from here, could you smell it?
If my wife lifted you up and held you in front of me, yeah, like that.
But what helps is he's got windows on his underpants. So that's just
But
it.
you couldn't smell it from a distance. No, you have to be close.
No, I'm not. You know, I'm not sort of in tune yet. But it's yeah. You basically just stop a meal and you know your baby's lifted up and you're like,
Have you thought about maybe finishing your dinner?
but you can't. Dan will attest. If as soon as somebody says, "Has he pooed?" you kind of have to.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
be like,
like-
oh, but the desserts aren't here.
Yep.
It looks bad.
Oh, I've ordered a cheese board. We've had
yeah.
He can squiff about in his own shit for a bit.
Hang on, so you're telling me if your main has just been put on your table,
Yeah.
and one of your friends or relatives or whoever you're dining with says, "Has he pooed?" and you check and he's pooed, you've got to leave your carbonara and go and wipe his ass.
I can't wait for you to be
that's
a
one
dad.
of, that's like parenting 101. You're not going to like sit there and go, well, I'll finish my meal. Like you and me are friends, right? And if you were you couldn't look after yourself and it became apparent that during our meal you'd shit your pants.
It's not impossible.
Look, but as a friend, I'd help you out. Like I wouldn't go, well, I've ordered my starter. It seems like, and I love my son, so surely I'm going to help him.
Yeah.
And, you know, and
with all sorts of things. Like if he falls out of his high chair, you can't be like, I haven't finished my
get a
tiramisu. You've got to move.
You get a rash, don't you, Adam?
What I'm saying is, if
love-
he's pooed his pants but he's still happy, then why are we changing?
What the fuck? Yeah, but
They
when
get
a
a
dog
rash.
when a dog shits in the street, it's still happy.
Yeah.
But you've got to pick the shit up.
I'm telling you right now, if I was out with my dog,
Yeah.
and my dog
And you were
had
eating a
shite-
carbonara.
I don't know, yeah, I'd finish that carbonara before I got a poo bag out.
No, go on. You're out with your dog.
I got a sandwich.
Yeah.
Dog has a shite. I'm finishing my sandwich before I go near the
That's
poo.
insane.
No, put your sandwich on a ledge.
Yeah, that sandwich is probably finished now.
Yeah.
I have to say, Adam, like, who wants to do a poo bag and then go
No,
back
you
to the
don't. The
sandwich?
sandwich is
Oh,
probably
it depends
finished.
how halfway. Like, put the sandwich in your pocket. You're not going to sit there. Just like let's say you've had a big baguette. It's a tuna mayonnaise baguette from Greg's. You're going to sit there.
Favourite.
How insane are you going to look? And now people know who you
How
are.
fat am I going to look though if I forget about it and I bump into one of my friends and there's a sandwich hanging out my pocket?
I had a brute. You know when someone just fucking zings you? This bloke zinged me on a bike. I was like, my old dog wasn't very well, and he kind of had like bad kidneys, so we had to kind of check his poo to see if there was kind of blood in it and stuff like that. And I was kind of like obviously really glaring at this turd. And this bloke saw me and he's like, "You all right, mate?" And I was like, "He's not very well." And his folk went, neither are you. Like that. And, it was just like, and if he'd have had a bell, he would have gone, ding, ding, and just fucking rinsed me. But you got to pick it up straight away. I remember telling friend of the show, Jimmy Carr, when you talk about sort of routines you can't make work. I was walking along and my dog did a shit and I didn't have a poo bag on me, which is just the worst. And I was going, oh God, what do I do? And all I had was a £20 note. So I was in this dilemma of like, oh, fuck. Do I leave the shit? We know that babies go blind if they touch dog muck. Fucking hell, are you going to make a baby blind? What do they get when they go blind? A dog? Like that. I was thinking like that. And then I was thinking, but if someone sees you lifting up a poo...
You look like...
as a famous person with a £20 note, as if to go...
It's one of the most Tory things.
So, yeah, totally. But what was the dilemma? So in the end, I was like, well, I've made the mistake. It should cost me 20 quid.
Yeah.
To pick it up, so that's what I did. But the look
You're
of
a better person.
it felt
than me,
like,
mate.
but it
There's not
felt
a
like
chance I was
it
picking
felt
that
like the
up.
Queen, and it was still the Queen at that stage, and was just looking at me, going, "Son of a bitch!" Like she was just all kind of like on her, like
You have to pick
like
your
that.
dog's poo up. You would then have to go into a shop or use leaves. You can't leave your dog's poo on
Well, that's the
floor.
problem. You can't sort of say, "I'll be back for that," because then you look fucking.
Was there
mental.
other people around?
There was nobody around, but it was just
I'd be
my.
gone.
No, don't, because you're getting a dog soon. Don't do that.
I feel really bad for the cocaine user a few weeks down the line.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be a really good night.
There should be poo bags in every... I mean, I haven't got them because you used it before. You should always have poo bags on you.
Totally. But if I didn't,
You
I'm
would
not,
just
I'm
walk
not picking
away.
it up with a £20 note.
No, but you would have to go into a shop or like pick... You have to get rid of that poo.
Cool.
Oh, mate, did you see that? Like, Roy Keane was on about this the other day on his podcast. It was fantastic. Like, Roy Keane is so funny, and increasingly is like a 1990s stand-up.
Yeah, he's like a club comic, isn't he?
Yeah. But he was.
What was the game like?
But he was doing stuff about the about people that pick up dog muck and they just leave it there. And then but he was doing that routine that we've seen comics do, and then he pick it up and put it on the floor and go on, and all they're all going, "Oh my God, it's so true." Fuck it, mate.
I can't wait to see his self-service bit.
Yeah.
I'm working here.
Yeah, man.
By the way, I will always have dog bags on me. Poo bags, right?
He doesn't have a dog.
I will pick the poo
dog in the
up.
bag.
What are we
I
arguing
will
about?
pick the poo up if I'm ever in the exact situation Russell found himself in,
Yeah.
and there's not a shop in the immediate vicinity, and all I've got on me is a £20 note.
the problem
that
is-
poo lives there now.
Yeah, but the problem is now no one carries cash, so you've got to make a choice with you and your credit card. Yeah, that's the thing. So if it was,
And also, you're the same. You are the same
What do you mean? I
in that
always put my dog's
situation.
poo up.
What would you do?
Volley it. Not the dog.
volley it. See, it's just the dog.
No, volley the poo into the nearest bush.
But there's no. I was sort of thought about it and was just like, oh, I've got to do it. And I remember talking to Jimmy about it, and I was sort of saying, oh, I think it's really funny. Like there's something in it. And he went, just make it a £5. That was his way, and then it's not a problem. I was like, I don't know. I think it's still weird, Jim. It's like, no, just make it a £5.
Shall we do a couple from the listeners?
Yeah.
Chris Wilkinson says, executive order, all bubble bath must start coming in bottles like dish soap so you can squirt enough in rather than massively overshooting. And that's from Chris Wilkinson, who is dealing with a lot of bubble bath issues.
No, I run a lot of baths for Serica, and you do have to do that, like an old ketchup bottle, and it just blob out.
Yeah.
So you can't really choose how much you're putting
When
in.
you get yourself one of those bath bombs, and then
She
you
like, yeah.
yeah.
But you come out all silky then. Sometimes she doesn't want to be silky.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you're preparing the bath for.
This is
Yeah.
That's
a
nice.
wild executive order. This is a tiny.
No, but I like it. It's a little change and something that would make a lot of difference, because it would make it you just do it all that.
Hang
and
on,
then bosh.
I'm a Dove man, mate. So Dove already has
I've
the
heard
Spursy,
that.
so
I've
Yeah,
heard
so
that.
you're already
You can't
getting
have too much bubble bath. You a couple
Yeah.
of dollops go in, you're like, oh, God, it's just too bubbly.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. You just get in.
Dan is completely right. Nobody's ever had a bubble
No,
bath
of
and
course.
gone, for fuck's sake, there's too many bubbles. How good,
Where's the bathroom?
how good is your life? If you're like, oh, gee, look how fucking bubbly I am. Jesus, I'm so calm.
You're like, John, you don't seem yourself today, mate. Yeah, I just got ready to come out, didn't I? Fucking bath was too bubbly.
I
exactly.
couldn't even see my feet. Very discombobulated.
Exactly. I had to have a shower to wash the bubbles off.
The thing with the bath bomb is they're loads of fun and the kids love them and that's great. But once the water drains away, the kids are the most dangerous they will ever be. There's like a sheen.
Yeah, they can slide down anything.
It's a fucking nightmare.
Silky.
the most dangerous they'll ever be.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
because there's little
Guns
weapons
and
in the
knives.
bath bombs. I wish Lush would stop putting machetes in these bath bombs. One more. Kai Barker says, how are we, lids? I've got an executive order for you. We need to put a stop to people cutting their mullets in short. If you are going to rock that Barner, at least do it properly rather than having short sides and then a triangle on the back of your heads. Sort it out.
Vidal Sassoon is furious.
Yeah, he wants a committed mullet rather than a
It is the new mullet, isn't it? Like a shaved-in mullet.
Yeah,
more
that's sort of like Anthony Gordon's got one now, and it looks peculiar, like where it's sort of
Thomas Green's got one.
Yeah.
Our mate.
balding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No sound. No, you're not telling people what to do with their hair.
I tell you what, like a mullet on an Australian looks phenomenal. Having spent a month there, it just fits those people so well.
And it's culturally appropriate, isn't it? You're like, yeah, this is what you guys
Yeah,
do.
it's like sort of the Theo Von's haircut. You're like, yeah. Like, I can't imagine him with like neat hair. No. Like, if you ever saw Theo Von with like a neat haircut, you'd be like, what the fuck's happened,
His first Netflix special, and I forget the name of it, he's got like almost like a crew cut.
Right.
And it isn't the same guy. Like his vibe, his whole vibe needs a mullet.
He is a mullet.
Yeah.
Different.
He's a big
I had a
walking
mullet as a kid. Like, my dad really liked, so I used to have really, really blonde hair. So he would kind of make it like he never let, it was like a rat's tail more, like just hang down, proper scummy.
I nearly went for the mullet earlier this year, but
You got the beginnings of one.
I just grew it all out. It's just very, very long in every
you go.
direction.
Yeah. Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of it.
I can only grow a mullet. That's
What are we dealing with?
I can't, well, I'm bald as fuck, so
yeah.
it just
Bill Bailey
grows off the
skullet.
back.
Have you thought, given your newfound success, have you thought about the old?
Can we tell you what happened?
We don't talk about this.
All right. Oh, sorry.
So
Sorry.
we got in touch with a company and we were going to do it as a Patreon special and get Dan a hair transplant. And the hair transplant company said he's too bald.
There's nothing. They can't take it from like the chin or.
No,
They said it
it's
would take 2
impossible.
full sessions and be able to get to the fucking halfway up my head. So amazingly, I'd
the
have
best-
16 grand of hair transplant, but I'd look more bald.
So the best they could do for you is sort of Dutch.
Yeah.
Like a Dutch man.
Gervinho.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm thinking glue on wig. Anyone?
Yeah, that works.
That'd be fine.
Do you give a shit?
Oh, I'd.
So it's funny,
It's
isn't it?
all
Some
good.
people
It's
really.
long gone.
Yeah, my brother's got.
I
Like
spend about 4 grand on hats a year, but never mind.
Yeah. My brother's got a reverse monk, so he's kind of bald around there, and he's got a bit on top. And I've sort of offered like plugs for him a few times. He's like, I couldn't give a shit. Doesn't care, but his hair looks fucking insane. He looks like Ronald Koeman, my brother. It's absolutely wild. But it's funny, isn't it? That's, happy in his own skin. Can't give a fuck.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, he is too bald. Yeah, say that.
I just love
Can you not even make
a
him look like Ronald
company
Koeman?
whose job it is to give bald people their hair back. Look at you, God, we've never seen anything like this.
So what? And did they let you know that? How did they let?
So they spoke to Steve.
Steve made me take pictures of my own head. He was like, listen, they need them quick. This is the God's honest truth. I was in JD Sports in Chester. I had to take quick pictures of my head. And then they went, what are we meant to do with that? I don't know, it's a bald head.
Did you go to the changing room, please?
Nope.
Oh,
Fucking hell, the looks you must have been getting in JD as well. They're like, fucking hell, this guy really takes hats seriously. That you're just kind of measuring your own head. So presumably,
That old fella doesn't know how to do a good selfie.
but presumably you were luxuriating in the future you with the hair as well.
That'd be a
Like-
dangerous thing, Russell.
no, but when they said, right, we're going to do a whole special dedicated to you growing your hair, you must have like imagined that.
Oh, but where am I going? Look at what I've achieved looking like a Danish sex offender. If I had beautiful locks, I don't know if I could live this civilian
like the
life.
reverse Samson, he loses his power.
It'd be like limitless. I'd be gone.
That's fucking great. So you're now worried about getting hair.
Well, apparently not, because it's not medically possible.
So do you think?
I'd
so
glue
do you
a
believe?
fucking
Do you believe in a
badger
higher
on my head.
power? Do you believe in like this? So there's like this godlike figure who's kind of going, just it can't happen.
If there is a God, he's tormenting me, sir.
Yeah.
I can't grow hair on my head, but it's growing on the side of my penis. I have to shave the top of my arms
Yes.
regularly.
the top.
The top, it's gone mad round here.
What?
Yeah, if there is a God, Awful. Piss taker.
I love the fact that there's multiple wars going on, and he's like, right, Nightingale's penis, get it up on the screen.
Also,
No, just there, just on the edges.
the one place I can grow hair quite well is on my chin,
Yes.
and that's going white. And I'm bald. So what am if I shave all my facial hair, everyone's appalled. Business partners, wives, my children were like, oh, what the fuck? So that's going to go white. So I'm going to end up looking like I'm going to be shaved headed with a white Christmas. I'm going to look like Father Christmas, like a neo-Nazi Santa Claus. Shaved head, white beard. This is awful. There is no Jesus.
It's mad that they could give you a head transplant here and gone, yeah, we took it from the top of your arms.
But we should pay real attention to the final phrase at the end of that rant. There is no Jesus. The image of you bursting into a church, pointing at your head, going, there is no Jesus.
Look at me.
Would be a fucking excellent way of spiking songs of praise. Do you know what I mean? Do you see that episode? Fuck me, that ball guy lost it.
That's what if you go Richard Keys in the back of your hand start going here.
That's a fair point.
What are you going to do there? Like a big teddy bear?
I'll tell you right now, the monkey's dead.
Clapazoo Affatot.
Russell, it's been really nice to see you, mate.
Hey, I really enjoyed that. Thanks for having us.
Can I get a selfie?
Yes.
I'll take it like this.
He's in front of you like that.
Yeah. Just gonna get like that. Yeah, it was fucking quality. Thanks, fellas.
I appreciate you.
Go and check out Russell's new stand-up special on the 15th of January. Russell-Howard.co.uk. He's also on tour all over the world at the minute. So the dates are also on the website. Oh, that's got to be the first clip from this episode, by the way.
Absolutely.
You ever thought about getting your head?
Right, we've got a song this week. The band Rolled Up Sleeves, and this is their tune, Emoji Eyes. So go and give it a listen.
Feels targeted.
Rolled up sleeves and...
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching. Bye, Felicia.